Gentlemen, welcome to the ECWM podcast. This is this is definitely the most anticipated podcast, the best thing I've ever had. We got a big crew of the OG ECWM crowd here. Like, first time we've been together in many years.
Oh, fuck.
I am your host. Not really your host. We got Wesley here. And to my right, I've got
Scott Wilson.
Matthew Wilson.
Jamie Fowler.
Benson Thompson.
Handskin.
There's my boy.
There we go.
That's tradition.
Mike
That's my
Hansen.
boy.
That's tradition, yeah.
Jason McLean.
And Ben Cummings.
welcome, gentlemen. This is a pretty epical night here to have the whole crew here like this.
So pumped for this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I don't know if anyone's going to like it, but I'm going to love it.
I don't
Oh,
care.
I don't even care. I
if they
just
like
keep
it or
voicing
not.
yours.
Hey, it's going to be in the books now. It's not
Yeah.
just going to be a night. We'll be able to go back and relive.
The bullshit's already flying.
Well, the bullshit's been flying for most of the day for me.
And the
My favorite way to
disarray.
meet Scott when he's ready to roll.
Ben Cummings, I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah.
First
And I'm-
time seeing
and I'm
you.
sorry
I
you gotta
appreciate
listen
this setup. Yeah. I apologize for what you're about to witness here tonight.
Good learning for you, Ben.
Yeah, it is good learning.
You're
for
going to both find out how crazy we really are.
It'll probably be a good learning for you.
Good learning for you.
Ben's gonna need therapy after this
Oh,
one.
I
Right?
agree.
I have been nonstop shopping for my first deer bear rifle right now. So I go on gun post every single night to find one. And
I've never wanted to buy guns so much in my life than I do right now.
100%.
Right?
So
Ben.
what I can tell you is to stay away from any 30-30 straight cartridge.
I was about to say, like a 35 Marlin is a fucking bomb.
3-03
These boys are going to
British.
tell you 270 because that's what they run, but I'll take a 308.
I wanted to
Cutting
beat him
wood.
to it, but he beat me.
Anything with the lever's good.
You know, I'm not partial to lever guns, but
Them
the straight
32
wall
special.
cartridge are not my favorite.
We ain't cowboys no more.
Them guns is for riding up beside buffalo and shooting them inside the head.
They make a beautiful saddle gun.
They are great for a pitcher.
Them's just for shooting wolves chasing the cattle.
Tatanka.
Tatanka.
Fair enough. Now we just pissed off like 90% of the hunting population here.
Well, good news is this is a
killed more
waterfowl
deer than anything
podcast.
else. You know, it's been around a lot longer.
So we're kind of going to get off the beaten path for us. We're obviously waterfowl hunters, but we've got us some big game hunters in the room.
Most of these fellas are big game hunters.
Yeah.
They like to hunt waterfowls with us once in a while.
Who's got their dinger on?
It's a
That'd be Mr. Matthew Wilson.
solitary game hunting whitetail deer.
No, I get
and
that.
so the extracurricular activity of the waterfowl hunters is well appreciated by us whitetailers.
Right.
It's like a big party at the camp, and you kill shit.
They're
No.
like they're
This
like
guy's doing stuff, Wesley.
they're as far as drugs go, they're like marijuana, whereas we're like heroin or ecstasy.
Meth.
No, I don't think it's like heroin.
Yeah,
Not sure. Don't try it.
The
But
camp atmosphere of a whitetailer is well sought after, while waterfowlers enjoy it every single day.
and they actually get up in the morning.
It is only appreciated by a whitetailer upon the acclamation of the deer.
We get up in the middle of the night.
Waterfowlers do
I'm
it
still-
every day.
Whitetail hunters are still up in the middle of the night, and they don't get up in the morning.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Or some of them do, that kill stuff.
And
That's
that's the rest of the story.
That is right.
We got deer meat sizzling on the
Harvey.
wood stove in the background.
I'm about to dive into that.
This is another drinking pot. Yeah, that's quite rare.
Should flip that.
It should be.
I think it's still frosty.
I like my steak warmed up on one side.
There's butter on top. We're good.
Pour a little bit of that Di-Serroni's on her there. That'll be good.
Yeah, nice little brandy cherry flavor in there.
So, Hanson, why don't you grab the microphone there, slide it up close, and give us a big 45-minute story about the Hanson water buck.
Real long and slow.
I mean, we know you're such a big talker and stuff, so.
That's a great story.
It is a great story.
Hi.
Folks on the outside,
My
this
name's
kid
Hanson.
didn't
I
talk
shot a
till he was
deer
21
in the
years
water.
old.
It's the first one I've shot in 7 years.
Like 12.
This is
Felt good.
Over
10.
and
You
over.
were out west with me.
It
All
was-
right,
it was a
Hanson, we're
jag.
going to shut up here so we can actually hear what you're
Yeah.
saying. So,
It was a jag. I'll get the squirrely fella beside me and flip the deer steak.
This is Audible with your Hanson Waterbuck story.
Hanson Waterbuck.
We
First
hope-
town, plumbing and heating.
We hope
Mike
you
Hansen.
enjoy this.
Well, I'll tell you, it. Use the fork on top of the cabinet there.
Is he flipping it with his fingers?
Of course he is. Probably got it.
Go dang it, it's like it's
Just
on
use a
fire.
coat hanger. Grab one of them coat hangers up there.
You were gonna
God
do
damn
big
it, Jim
things.
Bob. Where's the tosser?
You were going to do big things.
fork on top.
Yeah.
I just left the fork in the plate.
Well, I figured you'd look for it before you dove in.
Hey, you thought he was a thinker.
That belly says otherwise.
Turns out he's a drinker. All right, Hanson.
Okay, come
We're
on,
gonna
Mike.
shut
Let's tell us a story.
All right.
Right from the beginning.
So,
When did you get the idea?
many a year? I've just done the old lazy whitetail hunt. Like being self-employed, you don't have a lot of time.
Amen.
So yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. So you just go for a drive and this and that, lug a gun, go for the odd walk and walk a ridge and spend your weekends doing this, get the odd afternoon snuck away and your phone's ringing. And this year I decided, I said, it's been long enough since I've shot a deer in New Brunswick.
Good for you.
How many years, Mike?
And like around 10. I'm figuring. I never really did the math.
It's got
So
probably fast,
as a whitetailer, that's like join the nunnery.
Yeah.
Seriously, no,
I declared
that's
ungulate
a
celibacy.
long
That's what I mean.
stretch of celibacy.
That's what I mean. Like I should have shot the first spike that come in
I
just to
agree.
get the blood back on the trigger, the mojo,
I agree.
get it and smear it on my cheek, and
Yeah.
do that.
Little
Yeah.
dances with wolves happening there.
Yes, yeah.
Like
Take a
you
bite
were
of the heart.
16 years
Yes,
old. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, don't hurt my mules.
Oh yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta go for the dances with fucking wolves. Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. So I decided this year I was putting the effort in, and I surmassed a plan, and I said, well, everybody's doing this and that, and I found a waterway, and I said, well, I'm going to go right down the middle of her, where everybody's pressuring all the outside, and they can't really conveniently get to where I'm going to go.
I'm going to take the hard road.
I'm going to take the hard road.
So
for
just
some-
back up there.
Which boat
When
did
you
you take?
surmassed a plan, take me back to what the plan was, because I was there when you erected said plan, and it was
When he was
far-
erected.
Yes, tell us about this erection you had.
I'm not sure what's going on with.
It was far larger than an erection than I've ever had.
Well, my plan was to have a buffet to feed every distraught whore in the location
with your erection.
with my erection.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's
She
exactly
was,
what
she
you
was a
were
buffet
JR's,
table. There was no. Oh well, there's only this and that. It was a buffet table
So what did you feed him?
And
of food.
and that's a good spot too, because I've been up through that undisclosed body of water, and it's got some serious banks and some serious rowel.
Good
Also
fun
last
around.
name Mojo.
Up there in Nakawit.
Oh yeah, Nakwick.
Great
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
Where you grew up.
We started hunting.
I believe
that
it's
when we
Pocoyoke
were,
Stream,
like,
ain't it?
16.
Shoggamok.
Oh, Shogma.
It was
I
a
didn't know where he
great
was.
location.
So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it's gnarly in there.
It this season it was a hard season. Like we had real warm temperatures, and like I seen myself. I built a plateau for my ground blind, and I seen myself in sock feet and t-shirt with tit sweat going on.
It was warm,
Look
mate.
at that titty.
It was hot.
Super warm fall.
It was hot, and I
Jealous.
like lots of does and lambs, and
Those who don't know, Carrollton County, they call fawns lambs.
oh man, and like lots of bait, and I just kept them interested. That was the plan. I knew I was going to have to feed them. I knew I was going to have to keep everything there,
Yeah.
and I tried to make a point to do so. And considering where I was and the location, I didn't get a lot of mature bucks. per se. I got some bucks and one particular buck there that he started off, and I was late getting in about a week before the season, whatever. Anyway, I kind of had my eyes on him. I looked at him. As the season went on, he started to kind of diminish on his frequency of showing up. And I says, well, I said, if that's all that's coming, and it's been this long for me, I said, that's my buck. I said, I'm going to hunt that buck. And of course, I couldn't get away through the week. And she was weekends only. I'd try to get away from work Friday afternoons and bait. And then go out and spend from dark to dark.
And you can only go in there with a boat. Like,
Yeah.
you can't get in there with a
No.
vehicle. Yeah.
I
So it
mean,
was a boat every
You
time.
you could walk for 45 minutes,
Ooh.
and you could get in there.
I can't
And
walk
and
45
not and
minutes.
not just a boat. Like you were
Canoe.
migrating waterways here that
She,
were.
you had to travel the channels, like, and it was a chore. Like when you didn't have daylight and there was some dew and fog going. Like if you didn't know the channel, you were running sandbars and shallow spots and. And I would still, like, to this day, praise the old Evan Rood boat motor. Oh, boy. Yeah.
I had my feet on said Evinrude boat motor tonight.
Yeah.
It's a glorious animal.
What a beautiful piece of equipment. Yeah. And, yeah, I'd praise those daily. I'd like for them to sponsor me, really, but
Evan Root, if you're out there,
If you're listening,
well,
we're looking.
Your only sponsorship's going to come from an AA
No.
meeting, bud.
two-stroke motors are almost abolished.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
are.
I'm still running them.
Yep.
They're a lot
Michael
lighter than
Hansen's
four-stroke.
Michael Hansen's killing big bucks with them.
Yeah.
First time
Yeah.
plumbing and heating, Mike Hansen.
Yeah.
Hanson Waterbuck.
Hansen
I truly
Waterbuck,
wanted that boat picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last week, I'd raised beef that summer. This summer, and that was the day for slaughter, and so we butchered her beef, and I proceeded to take the fence down along the roadways and the driveways for snow plowing and such purposes. Mom had big feet of homemade pizza for lunch that day. This Monday of the fourth week.
God love her.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
God
her.
love her. Yeah.
Oh man,
I do love homemade pizza.
and I really stacked her in too.
You tanked up.
By the size of this man, he can eat the whole pizza.
I can eat 4 pieces, but I'll take 6.
Yeah, yeah. It was the first day. It was the first snow basically of the year that we'd had, and it was the first day this deer season that in my area the wind had changed. It'd been southeast, southwest.
It
All
was.
fall.
I agree.
Yeah.
All fall.
Yeah.
All
Weird,
fall.
eh?
Weird. Is that warm all fall?
And
That's
it-
what I
warm all
am,
fall,
boys.
yeah.
Usually that's
North,
non-
northwest,
yeah,
west.
Yeah.
Maybe a southwest.
The first day we've had a northwest wind was this Monday in this area, and I got all done these chores and such, and I just laid down on the couch, and Buddy rolled in the driveway. The dog barked, and I went out, and he said, "I'm surprised you're not in the stand." I said, "Gee," I said, "northwest wind, she'd be blowing right in my face." He said, "Perfect wind day, but me spleeny full of homemade pizza." Kinda sour.
Too
I
lazy
said,
actually to get off that couch.
That's not the slight best appetizing to me right now. And then somebody rolled in. I'd taken the day off. Somebody rolled in and started talking about work, this and that. I said, "Well," I said, "looks like I'm going to get propane from my buddy heater, and I'm going hunting." So I escaped that work conversation, and I went up. And anyway, I just nicely got settled in. I bundled up. Myself being self-employed and stuff, not a lot of time. I never invested in the real good cold weather clothing, which is a big.
What do you call
thing.
cold weather?
That's a whole podcast right there.
Anything
Yeah.
that.
You guys
It's-
don't know cold weather.
Yeah, well, I feel like the cold weather here is different than west.
It is, yeah.
Okay, well, minus 42 is cold.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's in Celsius, folks.
Yeah. We'll get on to that one.
So currently it was snowing. It was minus 3 or less.
Yeah. And it's cold when you're sitting still in a woods lawn chair in a tent blind.
Not a sponsor.
And yeah,
Didn't even get in the stand with the bus seat, eh?
So it was chilly, and I was cold, and I get in there. When I got in the boat, it had rained the day before and switched to snow. I never even really wiped the snow off the top of the boat motor. It was still in the water. And
Did she start first pole?
Second.
Did you
Second
put that
pole.
on
She
Instagram?
was-
Use a
like,
couple
she'd
filters,
run
make
all
it famous.
fall, and she was
yeah.
keen, eh?
Yeah,
And I
nice
looked
cool
back-
air.
Yeah.
Northwest. Start
Oh,
me up.
man. Yeah, she was keen.
Pull the cord, Anson.
She wanted to let her dangle
Let me
real
rip.
bad.
I looked, and I said I should get a picture of that. I said that's cool as hell. Like all the stuff that I wanted the boat pictures all fall.
You
I
get a
had
blue
an
check mark
envision
on
in my
Insta's
head,
famous there, or what?
and it just stuck with me all fall.
Don't be
Anyway,
doing that now.
I got her fired up, and I get up there and got settled in, and of course you're just like the Michelin Man. You get in there and you get settled in, and I had a couple pops there with me, and I just cracked my second pop, and I was sitting there, and I got the buddy heater fired up and warming up my fingers, and I looked up, and there was a deer standing at the bait. It was about 100 I'm going to say conservatively 128 yards from the lawn chair I was
That
sitting
seems
in
awful specific.
to the deer
Yeah.
that was
So you
in
know
the-
exactly how far it was.
in the picture. And I couldn't see his head at the time because he was behind a tree. And I said, well, geez, there's a deer there. I said, odd. And usually as the season had gone on, usually there was never a single deer that came in. And it was always like 2 lambs, 2 does, kind of just a bunch of group patches of deer coming in. Anyway, and I looked at this deer and I said, well, shit. I said, that looks like a buck to me. I said, look at the build of it. I said, look at it.
So you're looking directly at his butt.
No, I was looking at his body. It was face on, and I could see its torso. It was face on. I just couldn't see its head. And anyway, he took a few steps forward, and I said, holy old fuck, it's him.
There it is.
And it'd been the buck that'd been there all season, the most mature buck on that bait. And it was the first day with that opposite wind and the temperature differential that he'd come in daylight hours.
Right day, right time.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
So what gun were you actually shooting that time?
And I had a Remington model 7600 pump action 270.
Don't much know about that.
Would
Deadly.
that rifle take a clip, Hanson?
It does take a clip.
And you were shooting deer, not people.
Deer, not people.
Okay.
Never once
What,
did it
what do you
cross
suppose?
my mind.
What do you suppose the magazine capacity could be on that if somebody built one?
Well, you could put 1 in the tube and 4 in the magazine for a
That'd be
total
5
of
shots, folks.
5 bullets.
That'd be
And just to be clear, what do all guns? What are they all meant for?
killing.
Making us fed.
For killing. Just to be clear on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead, Nancy.
Yes.
What were your story?
I've kind of forgotten where I
He
left
came
off.
in.
He came
You
in.
saw it was him, the
Still
biggest
got
buck in the
Sam.
He
world.
was
Saturday.
pointing at
Sam.
you. Yeah.
He was looking at me,
He knew you were there.
and
He could sense your presence.
I feel like he could smell the cigarette smoke.
Yeah, well, sometimes they can, even though you're probably on your second pack of darts that day.
Yeah.
I took a long
Personally,
haul.
I could picture him feeling the fact that you wanted to eat him.
It was a day of
That's what
killing.
I sense.
Like
but
we'd gone through.
He was lusting for his loins.
We'd
You'd already
gone
killed
through,
the cattle. I need to kill a deer.
3 Angus beef that day, and it was the meat day for sure.
the smell
Sure,
of blood was in the air.
Yes,
I
it
agree.
was.
Yeah.
And it really was. Yeah, okay. We were in Millville, and it went well. Like he come in, and I kind of got the jitters because I'd been watching him on the trail camera and stuff, and
Shaking like a dog shitting his ways.
he was face on, like it was a full frontal shot.
Oh
and I
yeah,
said,
I know all about that.
Yeah. I didn't like that.
No, I agree.
And I kind of took him out of the scope, and I kind of looked down at the corner of the blind, and took a minute there, and took a couple breaths, and then I come up and put him back in the scope, and he was kind of quartering to a little bit, and I said, well, that's enough meat for me. And anyway,
So just how long has it been since you blew your load?
about 10 years.
10 years.
Guesstimation could be longer, could be less.
Yep.
Yeah, for whitetail family.
10
Yeah.
years
Jeepers.
since you squeezed the trigger on a whitetail buck.
Pretty sure I got the
You would've
picture.
been.
Yeah.
New Brunswick for sure.
I agree. There's quite a transformation there.
Yeah.
And I just like to,
Yeah,
I can feel the
the excitement.
I
Yeah.
can 100%
Yeah.
because every buck that I see brings that excitement. So
Every
does.
buck that I see,
I can feel it tingling in my loins.
Whoa.
While you explain pulling the trigger.
Scott's
man,
loins
there
are
was
tingling for your deer.
yeah.
There was a definite tingle there for sure.
So he was slightly quartering too.
Yeah, yeah.
So you really let him have it. Right?
Yeah, I
Give it to him.
I put him in. And I said that's good enough for me, and I knew the gun had been shooting fairly good when I initially lined it in earlier.
Oh, you do that?
fall.
I've never done that before.
Well, I just put a scope on it because the first scope that was on it, the dial come out with the cap that houses the dial. I said, well, I can't trust that one. But anyway, I said, okay. I said, that's enough meat for me. I said, I initially all fall, I wanted that high shoulder shot. I wanted that central nervous system. I wanted to shut that deer.
Just
down.
anchor him.
I did not want to chase deer.
Yeah,
In
I
that
agree.
location.
I agree.
Best
I
way to
said
shoot loose.
it's going to be miserable either way it goes. I said I want him to land right where he stands.
What he's eating.
Yeah, the naturally grown stuff in front of him.
Yeah, I figured that.
And he, anyway, I squeezed the trigger and down he went. He was just like a mallard duck in the water, like pads in the air, feet kicking down on
I
his
don't think
back.
his feet were orange, Hanson.
And I said, oh my soul, I smoked him.
Yeah.
I fucking
Exactly
smoked him.
what you want to
Yeah.
see as a
Yeah.
white-tailed
Yeah.
deer hunter.
I fucking
You want to
smoked him.
pile that animal
Yeah.
up where it sits.
I'd have probably shot him
Yeah.
again anyway.
Yeah.
And it was like a dream come true because you were all amped up anyway. So I got stuff gathered up. I had a book bag there with like whatever and binoculars and stuff in it. And when I'm to this location, I had the boat to it. And so I always, my boat's aluminum, so I always threw the gun in the case when it was going in the boat. So I threw the gun in the case, grabbed my pack, jumped in the boat, went up the stream that I was in, and due to the trail camera, Benny, you get a monitor to the stakes.
well,
and
you
stuff.
should hold me earlier.
I heard something.
I never
about
heard
it.
you
It's
talk this long in your life in 15
Yeah.
years.
No, it
I'm quite impressed.
due to the location, it
I
was
would've
about
done
8 minutes
Jason.
later
Jay's
Yeah.
can't cook today.
that I get up there, and he was laying there kind of belly to me, chin on the ground, and I seen him blink. I said, well, I guess you're still kind of with us. And I seen him take quite a deep breath.
Ooh.
And I'd sent
Not a good feeling.
no,
No.
because where I had to stop the boat, I stopped at a log that crossed off said waterway, and then you have to step over this cluster of logs and go out on a peninsula. The water was high. We had a lot of water, a lot of rain that weekend before, and I stepped out on this peninsula and I
That's what they
ciphered
should
all
cost.
this out and seen that happen. So
Well,
I went
11
back
today.
and took my pack off because I was excited for daylight pictures. I was-
Absolutely.
I
I
was-
mean,
yeah.
absolutely.
I wanted my pack there to prop up my
Yep.
phone and
Good
take
place.
that self-timer picture and stuff.
Yep.
And then when all
Absolutely.
this, I seen the movement, and I said, okay, well, you're not done yet. So I went back to the boat, and this was all in like a minute's time. We went back to the boat, unloaded my pack, slung the case off the gun, threw it like a cowboy, went back over the log, put him in the scope, and I kind of ciphered. I said, I could shoot you in the neck. I said, I don't want to. I might want to mount you. I could shoot you right between the legs. I said, put her right in the boiler room. I said, no, I blow your back straps out. And I no longer got that ciphered. And as I was ciphering this, I was texting, actually, Scott Wilson said I just smoked him.
Yeah.
And it was like 4:19. I sent the text to Scott, and 4:20 the trail cam picture was him getting wheels and running. And I was running the Remington pump action carbine.
So you're telling me
And
you
I
were
mean,
standing
not,
beside a
no-
deer.
not running, like up, fully alert, and you would have lost this deer.
It would have been a long track. I did get what I believe is one lung off of fragments of the initial shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
So you hit this deer
go a long ways for a
face
long
on, The bullet went in, fragmented, went in the cavity,
Yes.
caught pieces of a lung.
Yep.
He laid there sulked.
Yep. Yeah.
You've
it
done
was
the 1 in a million. You've gone up.
very much so.
Yeah.
It was lucky. I found the initial first bullet. I found that in his armpit, and the fragments you could see where it came through the rib cage, and it would have got one side of the lungs, and it went through and punctured the diaphragm, and got into his.
What
his
ammunition were you using?
It was Federal
The
130s
or power shot.
with
270 though. That's a fucking quick shooting gun.
Oh, it was
130
a beautiful,
or
I've got-
150?
Yeah,
130
she was
is probably best
130
to shoot.
Nosler partition points, and I can't buck on the bullets because as the story goes, he got up and he got wheels, and as he went up and he kind of ran away, and then when he turned broadside again, I was ready and I was on him, and I fed him 2 more times. I give him the old Benoit Brothers special with that pump action Remington carbine,
Attaboy.
and they were like,
Shoot till he falls.
yeah, he
Don't
was.
quit shooting.
It was 2 shots within a matter of seconds, and they were right 3 inches apart, right in the boiler room, and he went another 50 feet.
They weren't 3 inches apart. They
No.
were thumb widths apart.
Yeah,
They were
well,
they
they
were
were-
an inch.
He
They
got
were-
one
it
heck
It
of
was
a
it
thumb,
was
he got
it
3
was
inches.
Yeah,
you know it was
Yeah.
unbelievable
Boy, you shoot a
and
how
gun.
far they were apart. There.
it goes to say for the testation, like the will to live for those white-tailed
Oh,
deer.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
to have that
Toughest animal in the
deer,
world.
to drop that deer, and I know exactly what you're explaining to me, of it kicking and laying there and doing, basically doing its last
Yeah,
initial breaths.
yeah,
And that feeling of having harvested that animal cleanly,
and
to
then him-
walk up to it and have it get up. And I saw the picture of this deer,
Yeah, Yeah.
and it was playing coy with you.
in the 8 minutes from the initial first trigger pull to this happening, I had sent 3 text messages. And the last one was Scott Wilson, and it wasn't a full minute, and that deer got wheels and took off, and I said, here we go. I said, I've shot this deer and dropped it, and he's going to run away. And luckily enough, I had the gun ready, and the full frontal shot is a shot that is not the shot you want to take. in
I
my
watched a
opinion.
moose do that once. I put a 180 grain Nosler partition through it out of a 300 Ultra Mag
Yes.
at 100 yards, and
that kills everything.
it went down and it got back up, and I put another one in it and never did find it.
I
Yeah, I
would
seen
not
the video.
recommend that.
Yeah,
shot to
there's a
anybody.
video of that.
My real question is, Hanson, where was your knife
Uh,
in your backpack in the stand?
I didn't have my
Why didn't you do this?
my knife with me. I was
All
I
thumbs
had
at the
equipment
time.
at home, and I was going to make the 2-hour drive back to my house and dress that deer out home where I had equipment to hang it, and it was easier just because.
Understandable.
I've
But you don't
dressed
carry your
enough
pocket
out.
knife to stab that thing in the throat?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just it's the
Oh, next
it's
time.
the 1 in a million
It is. It
that
is.
only happens to the group of whitetail hunters.
Yeah,
Like, it
I've
is
had it
legitimately
robbed me.
that story that you hear about
yeah.
but never see.
You can most times catch up to a goose trying to run from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to.
No. No.
Matthew
You
usually
can reach
catches
out
them,
with them.
or else he has
Yeah.
his dog go get everything
Yeah.
done for him.
It's
I noticed he's getting a little fatter since he had them dogs.
Yeah.
It's
But, yeah.
unbelievable, really, that
Yeah.
that a deer can absorb that pressure
That pressure, that inertia, everything, and
of a bullet traveling 3,000 feet per second.
And all the shock
of-
stays
of
inside.
the 3 shots, one being at 130 yards and the last 2 being at 30, I found 2 of the 3 bullets, and they were both like the same expansion, same weight retention, same everything. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
did
Yeah.
exactly what they were supposed to do.
Exactly.
They're
And it
one of the
didn't
greatest bullets of
dictate
all
on the
time.
distance that like the big calibers and stuff they mouth about here and there passing through. Well, sure, it's apparent, but yeah, no, these bullets for this animal worked.
100%.
It's what they're
Yeah.
built for,
Yeah,
and they hold their
Yeah.
they hold their weight.
you know, I have found
All the shot
myself
goes
a new
inside.
deer gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that That Millville buck is my story.
And you
No.
got him, and you got to
You
throw him in a
harvested it.
canoe.
Yeah,
You were
put
pretty
him in
much like a
canoe
Benoit
and you
brother,
hauled
though,
him
eh?
out and
At that point.
against the, you spent several full days on stand.
Yes, 60 plus hours.
Right.
And you got that highly sought after buck in a canoe picture.
Yes.
And
That made my
And I was,
almost made my season
I-
when I
I-
seen that.
yeah.
We've talked about that for
Yeah.
I've
so
seen two
long.
pictures like that. In this
I
life.
I mean, for this group of guys sitting here, I mean, that is one of the pinnacle
It's a-
things
Yeah.
to have.
It's
that
a-
canoe
big time.
picture.
It's a very
There's two of
nostalgic
them here
picture.
sitting side by
Oh,
side.
yeah.
We got canoe pictures
Yeah,
that
it
I've
makes
seen.
you feel like you were born in the wrong time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, takes you back, puts you back in an era that you didn't come from.
Well, yeah, because at one point, if you wanted to get to other land, that was the quickest way to get there.
Yeah,
really.
there was no wheelers. There was no. It was horse or canoe.
Yeah, you take
Yeah.
a boat, go up the river, and
Yeah.
hell yeah.
And I mean the story. I saw the work you put into it. You put
I don't know where I went.
as much different work. People would look at it and say it was absolutely ridiculous, but the work you put into it was awesome.
Well,
But
I,
he
I
also-
completely appreciated it.
But he also got a deer in probably one of the highest pressured areas there is,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
another crazy.
That's why he
accomplishment.
went in the middle of
Which
it.
is absolutely phenomenal.
Those deer don't go. Those deer don't go near the road anymore.
No,
They know better.
And so people get tied up in.
you smartened them all up when you shot at that one 7 times.
I killed it. It's 5.
Fine.
Actually, no, 6. I turned back the truck.
So
I'll talk
people
about that
get
later.
people get tied up in how big was the deer? How big were the horns on it?
yeah.
It doesn't matter
It was a hunted
because
deer.
you hunted it.
Yep.
You set up, you hunted it, and you harvested it.
It's not necessarily don't shoot a spike, needed meat. It wasn't that. It was a matter of getting out and hunting. You hunted this animal. This was the mature animal coming to your site.
Mm-hmm.
You participated in the activity.
Yes.
You did
Yeah.
all the preparation.
Yeah.
The culmination of the hunt is to kill the animal.
That deer is worth more than
Oh,
a bigger
yeah.
buck just shot off the side of the road.
Absolutely.
The opinion on this is kind of veering off subject, but on spike horns and big mature bucks and stuff. In my opinion, nobody really needs to shoot a spike horn to survive the winter. You don't get that much meat off a deer, and for the amount, by the time you spend money on a box of bullets, buying the deer license, and the first tank of gas hunting that spike horn, you've got half a quarter of beef paid for. That's primo feed for your family for many.
I reckon with the money spent on waterfowl hunting, we could live off Wagyu beef.
Yeah. So it's and regardless of that, if you want to go out and hunt, if you're not big on that, if you just want to pull the trigger and drop animals, great, all the power to you. As far as
Your license.
yeah,
It's your license, and
Yep.
and hunting is what you want it to be.
yeah.
Your hunt is your hunt.
And it's like you said earlier this season, Scott. Like if this is the site you picked, this is the deer you've hunted,
This is it.
this is your trophy.
Yeah.
This is what's
2014, finally found it.
yeah. That was my first deer.
So how 2014? Just take me back. How old were you in 2014?
I was 16 in that picture.
Man.
That was the first deer that I'd shot in New Brunswick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know where you
That-
shot that. I remember that.
That was
Yeah.
that was a
I
good day.
remember that like it was yesterday.
That was a good.
That
was
was
a
in
good
the
day.
same Millville location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the non-typical 5-point.
And so, and so to get back to that point, like
one ever.
Yeah.
remember that day.
There was one more after
old
that one,
Toyotas.
and then I went to a different province to kill my
Hey,
North American ungulate.
that was a big. that was a big buck.
That was a monster.
Big
I
buck.
still have him to this day hanging above the deep freeze.
and so that means something to you.
Absolutely.
And every hunt
don't.
means something different to every person that hunts.
Size of the antlers don't
And
matter.
this evening we will feast on the loins of your deer.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know where
I'm
they
looking
went.
forward to it.
Somebody stole them.
There you go.
Betsy was ready to eat it before it even been flipped. Still an inch ice on one side.
Warm it up on one
Well, I never
side.
had frozen deer meat before. I eat it right directly.
Yeah.
Now sitting here as a senior deer hunting, and yes, I just did air quotations on that.
You are a senior. You're the old guy.
Watching
You are old West.
Watching Hanson harvest that deer this year I felt like I was there. I sat in the tree stand. He texted me the instant he shot it. I instantly got that rush of emotion for him.
That's like the rush of a guy, really.
It's a religious experience. It's an emotional experience. It's a thing that only people who hunt and harvest can really accept. It's for each individual who does it, and how you do it, what you use for a weapon, how you choose to do it, what method you use to hunt, deer drive, bait. It's all jurisdictional. But at the end of the day, we're all hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And how we choose to do that is the form that's accepted in our area. And that's the way it is. And so, being part of Hanson Skin, harvesting that deer from 2014 to, that's 8 years. As a whitetail fanatic that I feel like I am, going 8 years without harvesting a deer is incredible to me.
That's normal for me.
No, it was 8 years in New Brunswick. I had shot one in between in Alberta.
Fair enough.
New Brunswick deer.
It's a New Brunswick deer, which is a whole
You shot
different
my
area
deer
to
in
hunt.
Alberta.
You never can shoot enough deer. I guess
If that's your thing, it's true. You can travel all across the world and
guiding in other provinces definitely hindered that mindset because in years past you do pass up smaller deer.
Yep.
In your home province.
And fine,
pass
if
up any
that's,
deer in my
if that's
province.
what you are as a hunter,
Yep.
if you choose to pass up smaller deer,
Yep.
all the power to you. If you choose to shoot that spike horn,
Yeah.
all the power to you.
That's your
Yeah.
license.
I appreciate you just as much as the guy that shoots the 180-inch deer.
Yep.
Because you hunted that deer.
That's
It's
right.
the experience you're
You
into.
harvested it, you did it legally, and that's your deer.
And I think that something that a lot of people don't understand about hunters in general, a lot of people talk about sports and different activities that they do. Hunting for us isn't something we do. It's who we are.
It is.
It's not something like, okay, it's hunting season, so now we hunt. It's something
Start
that
thinking about it. Yeah, where's
we
my
never
gun?
we never
Yeah.
stop
It's all
thinking about
year
it.
round.
It's just it's like I said, it's not an activity you partake in and that you think about, okay, I'm gonna go play hunting. It's just it's something that's always on your brain. It's who you are. It's just a part of your life. It's who you are. It's not an activity or a thing that you do.
When you drive down the highway, you see every animal in the woods.
That
That's the
36-inch
average
inseam coming in handy right there.
That's agility
He
right
just
there.
stepped
Or
over.
buckling him
He
in
just
your
stepped
short-
over a complete chair, bench, and 2 empty beer bottles, and never touched a thing. Just like a giraffe.
Young
That
gazelle.
36-inch inseam, eh?
Yeah. But no, I mean that's the thing. People don't understand that hunting isn't an activity that we do. It's
It is
just
who
who
you
we
are.
are.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a
It's
way
who
of
you
life.
are, that's how
It
it
is
is.
an absolute way of life. It is not something. It's not something that shuts off.
Mm.
You know, just our season used to end December 18th. It's not like December 18th we stop thinking about it. Bang, we're doing
Yeah.
something else. Like
I was usually
no.
thinking about why don't we hunt until the 30th? Or
Yeah.
Can we keep on hunting?
We're thinking to ourselves, okay, where's the next place we can go? Or
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
you
go
just
build a
never
blind right
you,
now.
you never stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's not something you ever really get away from. It's part of who you are. It is
Yeah.
an absolute way of life. Not for everybody. Not for everybody.
Guys like us.
But
Yeah.
for us, it definitely is.
Then there's a lot of guys like us.
Way of life.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, learning now, hunters are the tightest group of people on this earth.
How old are you now, Benson?
Old, 35.
35. Are you serious?
I'm 35 and I'm waterfowl guiding. I'm an idiot.
Are you seriously 35 now?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Everybody else
word.
who guides waterfowl is 20.
How old are you now, Benson or Hanson?
30.
30. Good
Oh my!
man.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're fat.
It's so weird. Like I've known you since you were a kid.
Kid, he shot his first goose with me. He's 14 years old. We drove 15 minutes down the road after hunting all day. That's my 1st goose. What?
Yeah.
How do you not tell somebody that? We're sitting in a brush pile. The boys are hunting a different field just down the road from us. I was like, well, we didn't make it, so let's go up here. We call that place Hamburger Hill.
Benson
Nobody needs to know where that
acted like he was
is.
a big goose hunter, and he put me in a rock pile, and they flew over, and I shot my first goose.
No, they flew in once.
Well, you shot your first goose, didn't you? I'm kind of hungry, he says.
I shot 4. Why'd you shoot 1?
Yeah.
Not looking back now, how come you actually got a guiding job? Because I was too lazy to do the rest of the work.
Yeah. I wanted to sleep on the deep freeze.
I did. Hanson did the work. I had a nap.
Hey, at least he doesn't sleep in the cubby under the steps.
I still do. Hanson, wake me up. Go start the truck.
Man's never slept in a bed in his life.
Oh,
Don't
I
like
thought
them
it was-
things.
I thought I was going to get fired. We were late most mornings. And,
It's my fault. I didn't like waking up.
yeah.
It's because you didn't warm the truck up enough.
Yeah.
Then you went, and, made all me look. I made me look really stupid because you know how to cape deer, and
All right,
I
boys.
still don't.
Let's take a little interlude and eat some of Hanson's deer.
I already ate a piece, and it's all right. It's flank steak too. Who serves a guy flank steak?
And I mean, it's well trimmed
Hey,
meat.
a smart man keeps the good stuff to himself.
I
Hanson.
used to get Hanson to cut my meat, and I just have to go on a drive.
All right, we'll be right back.
That's true story.
And we're back. Oh,
We can have that
there we go.
Bambino up here anytime. Little celebration.
yeah,
What'd you
get
buy
that
the small
Disaronni's going. How come
What'd you
that?
buy the small bottle, Scott? They make twice the size of that.
Fuck, I
It's
got 2
$12.99.
bottles.
Where's that fucking? Where's that Cabot Trail?
I got fucking 2 bottles of shit outside. Hey, look, I'll go get her. We'll pass her all around.
I already seen it. I gotta have a cigarette
absolutely.
shortly. I gotta have a cigarette
More
shortly
potent
anyway, and
than
I'm
it
guessing
warms up.
there'll be half it left when I
How
get
about you
back.
stop being a goddamn pussy?
Yes,
while
yes,
you
yes.
go get
Hold
them
her,
other 2
Scott,
bottles.
missed
Come
out.
on.
What's wrong with the left-hand side here?
I'm right-handed.
You're prejudiced, eh? Prejudiced to us.
I got
He just
left-
doesn't
I
like
got
his brother,
left-handed.
that's all.
Prejudiced to us left-handed people.
Are you left-handed?
I am left-handed.
And
And
colorblind.
I didn't know that.
Left-handed, colorblind,
Hey.
and shoot right.
It's color retarded.
I've got a mix and a
All kinds of fuckery.
going with
Yeah.
me.
Not to mention he's 6'6" and has no knees left. Figure it out. But he looks something good with that haircut. Like really, you got a haircut. I haven't even brushed my hair
I
in
am
fucking
a
15
sexy
years.
animal.
Oh, I'm well aware. You one hell
My
of a
mother
man.
tells me.
So, did she also tell you to wear your helmet and quit eating crayons? Or you always have a scratch and stiff marker stuck to your nose.
That was early. That was early on.
This might be the end of the night for me.
Oh, wait for this. Time out. When he was 17 years
sugar in
old,
that
he
right
drank
there.
hard
I'm a
liquor.
flat girl.
He's now like
brings
47.
That brings
How old is Wesley?
Canadian blood
46.
out in
He's
Wesley.
45.
I was close.
Maple cream.
First time I ever
I've
met
got that.
Wesley,
Look on the back of that.
he-
You see
he
the
met
trapper
Matthew
on the
and I.
back of it?
Yeah, you've got that tattoo.
I've got the,
Buying
I've got that
ammunition.
same guy.
I like how you can hear the gurgles in the bottle on the speaker.
let her go. Just tip that up. Let her dangle a little.
For some reason,
wrong with you?
Wilson, that reminds me of Ottawa.
Oh,
Why would that remind me of Ottawa?
What's that cabin trail? I don't know. Which time?
We're gonna suckle alcohol while you tell us your. Just tell us what you did this summer and fall, Benson. You've been hard on the guiding, man.
Yeah,
All
I've been
over.
home 7.
Not
I've been home
just
3 weeks and
whitetail,
7
but-
months.
But fishing.
Yeah, fishing.
you
I've fished in
Manitoba?
40 miles from Northwest Territories. That's what I did
Northern
all
Lights.
summer. They're everywhere. Well, it doesn't get dark there until about August. Sheesh. You put black garbage bags on your windows to sleep. The only way you can do it. But then the bears come hang out anyway. They wake you up every night.
So
beating
where
on your
were
door.
you? You were in northern Saskatchewan this
I was
summer?
working a nose post camp at Mississippi
Here, it's
Lake.
meth heads beating on your door. But
No, they're
there
just
it's
stealing your
bears.
catalytic converters. It's a whole different game.
They can't get that far up that north.
No, they wouldn't make her that far in my place.
That is good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's breakfast drink right there. I guarantee it.
I like.
But anyway, so I guide for Milton Lake Lodge. I don't guide, actually. I manage a camp at Mississippi Lake, my girlfriend and I. And most of the time I'm fixing boat motors because everybody runs into a rock. And props aren't the problem. It's nobody can understand that you don't go in the shallows.
They're running
Yeah.
Mercury's, not Evinrude's.
No, I'm running Yamahas, 4-strokes.
Back-
Best
same
part
as
about
Mer-
them is
Same
the
as
only thing
Mercury.
that breaks on those Yamahas is the shifting linkage. Because, wow, 8 or 10 props a week's not bad.
in remote Saskatchewan.
Yeah, like they fly 30 or 40 of them in a week.
Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's 3 feet low this year. It goes from 90 feet to 2 feet in about 4 seconds flat.
Jeez.
Even I'm the only person who didn't ruin a
4
prop.
seconds flat.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're
90
gonna
feet to 2 feet. Bang.
if you're gonna sink a boat, northern Saskatchewan's the place to do it.
Yeah, because there's no cell phone service. Nobody cares if you're dead or not.
You know what?
That's how I look at it.
That's the
Fucking
Paul Harvey version.
Dick Brennicky went to the north with one prop and fashioned it out of a nice log of wood
A piece of hickory.
He would have made the prop.
Yeah.
He probably made the maps
Out
to
of
map
his
my
own
lake
hair.
then. So we got everything GPS, right? We got it all done up, and you tell people don't go into that bay. Well, everybody thinks a piker in that bay.
So are you guys are just hunting big lakes or fishing? Sorry.
My Missakuma's 8 miles long.
Okay, that's a big lake.
Well, it's not small.
What?
There's a lot bigger lakes than that.
What kind of fish are you?
We fish. We're too far north for walleye. They don't come up through the Porcupine River that far. So we're
Holder, the Porcupine River.
the same one that Matt Trapper was on. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I'm quite aware. I read that book 42 times at our camp.
Yeah.
It's the only book I ever read, but I read it 42 times. Remember half it. Usually,
it lived in the
Bud Light
Windsor.
had something to do with that.
It lived in the Windsor Manor, man. It was
still
like
lives
the
there.
Bible of the Windsor Manor.
It's the only one I've ever read there. And I
So-
look at pictures of you guys going, oh my
so
God, we were
pike
young.
and what else?
Pike and lake trout.
Lake trout. Yeah.
Lake trout there, your average size is 10 to 12 pounds. You have
Is
to-
it? It's fly-in only, or can you drive to it?
Yeah, 600 miles from there, you can drive to it.
shit!
You could drive to it though.
Yeah, 600 miles, and then you get on an airplane, then you can get there.
Wow. So it's mega
Williston,
remote.
Williston Lake Lodge is the biggest lake you can drive in. Close Stony Rapids, you could drive there.
So that's the lodge, and then there's an outpost.
Yeah.
Well, no, I work at Milton Lake. We're above Williston. Williston's the biggest lodge around.
Right.
Right? The lakes, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. You're flying forever on a 1942 airplane. You're worried about everything falling apart.
Super Cub or something like that.
She just
No,
shaking.
ours are otters. I got in and I said, when was this thing built? And he said, 1942. I said, come again?
Good
He was
night.
1942. I said, anybody fix the rivets that aren't in it?
It must be an Evinrude.
We help
I've-
rescue people
Best
from the
motor ever
Titanic.
The best part about it is when they land in the lake, any premium fuel? I said, what? Well, we didn't have enough fuel. You had too much weight on. So you just fly around without enough fuel to get home? That's ridiculous.
So-
I drive around without enough fuel because they can't afford it.
So what do you guys use? You guys use inReaches or satellite phones?
Yeah,
or-
in reach on the spot or whatever spots.
Yeah.
You check in every 2 or 3 hours, and you know most of the time when the check-ins help.
Yeah.
And there I go, off
That's pretty cool.
Off the old 16-foot lawn, just giving her. Take everything you can, even an extra motor sometimes, because they don't know how to do anything anyway.
And you did that all summer, right?
2 months.
2
I
months.
did it from June 6th. We flew in June 6th. There was still ice on the lake.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean?
Holy.
Every other lake, we're further north. I was like, every other lake's got ice on it. Where the hell are we landing? And there's no skis on this. This is just like straight up float plane.
Yeah.
I was like,
Pontoon.
what happens when we can't make it home? We get there, Airport Bay. All the bays dry out quick. Or like they thaw out quicker. We had about 800 feet to land. Then a 16-foot Lund with a 15-horse Yamaha broke the ice the whole way to the lodge.
Jeez.
And I'm the idiot who got it.
Yeah, you are an idiot. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm the only one dumb enough to have done that. The funny part about that story, Matt, you just said, when you know what the actual activity for Stony Rapids is? To watch the airplane land. Every
it would
person
be.
in that camp,
Absolutely.
that place, comes. Well, not sure what they're getting
Spirit
out of
Eagle.
it. No, that's further down.
Spirit Eagle, yeah.
So
What's on with the Disaronies?
you get there, it's a dry reserve when you land. They check every piece of your equipment. Of course, I got a bottle of bourbon. I figure out that's worth about $900.
You set that damn wrong.
I just want to drink it. But anyway, it was a good experience up there. Miss Kuma, legitimately, you can't drop a line without catching a fish.
I
It's
didn't have
impossible,
any of that.
no matter where you're at in the lake.
Keep her rolling around, boys.
And
Keep her
the
rolling.
pike there, you're going to get 50 inches.
We need
That's
protein
awesome.
in the
And
band.
the first day we got there, my girlfriend never caught a fish before, I don't think.
She was out there
We
too.
need
I thought I saw
She
a
managed
picture.
it.
And
She
She
got
what?
bigger fish than me. Shut up, I don't want to talk about it. She manages to camp with me. Like, we get out there. I don't have to guide anybody. I just have to make sure the boat's running. They come back every 15 or 20 minutes, and I put something new on it.
So they take their own.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh,
Guys
It's a
wow.
like-
great time.
You
got
just
big
kick him in
things.
the ass. And
Some
slap
city
him and-
slicker from.
Michigan, usually.
Michigan.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Here.
Detroit has a lot of water.
You know how to run a boat? Nope.
Yeah. Here's a
but
flying
if you're gonna go to an
lure.
outpost camp, wouldn't you think you know how to start a boat?
Oh fuck! They don't even have. They're running the boat themselves.
I don't run into shit. They do.
You're
I
just
fix
wait-
the shit they run
That,
into.
no
that sounds
wonder.
You're
expensive.
just waving
just
at him,
right.
right?
Well, but bottom
Hey,
end, you
boys,
Yamaha
have
15
fun.
horsepower is about $1,600 in
So-
civilization. It's about $2,600.
Is it a
up there.
5-day fishing trip up there? 3 days?
You can fish from 5 days, 7 days. We had one group for 14 days.
So what's
No
the
way.
rates? 14 days up there
Meetings.
that remote.
Rates are pretty good because they,
Holy shit.
like,
14
truthfully,
days fishing.
it's probably the best rate there is in Saskatchewan. You get a fly-in lodge to an outpost camp on a lake that's been fished by like 27 people in the last 3 years.
Man.
And actually, I have one lake you fished. 12 people fished it in 1942.
Think about how the fish got there, right?
I know.
The fish actually at Walker will bite the prop of your motor. I've seen it happen.
Man,
You
people
don't
like
even need a
tits
pole.
of all this.
All
different
you need is
sizes,
an
eh?
outboard motor.
It's
Holy
legitimately.
So, did you leave the outpost camp at all, or like?
Yeah, I went back to Milton. Or I was at Milton to open it, which is it's a fancy ass lodge. They got, the chef is the guy who won Chop Chef Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he makes way too fancy. I don't know which fork to use when I eat. Like
I
just
just
four
give
of them.
I just pick up the biggest one, and throw the rest out.
I just use
My name's Benson. I'll take 3 of these forks for my hair. The other one I'm gonna eat with.
Like, can I use one of those to brush my hair? Actually,
What did they think when they saw you and they roll up and see you and like, good land?
1992.
This guy's
called
been in
Once
the
Her
bush.
Hair-
Honey,
What they
you
think.
won't believe the Canadian I saw.
You
You know what, though?
The
had
funniest
a
part is they see me,
Macho
they're like,
Man.
that guy's definitely okay to do this.
They fucking love somebody that looks like Benson.
Oh,
Because they're like
100%.
they're like you
they're
should have
like-
seen our guide. He was a fucking guide. Like he was a real
Every,
guide.
every,
lived
single
in
one,
in the woods.
every single one of my clients take
They were
pictures of me,
6
either
inches
telling
of
everybody
snow
I'm
on
a
the ground.
retard, or this guy is definitely a legend.
He's definitely a guide. Look at him.
Oh, 100%.
He's been up here for sure. He's
He's
no
been
city
hardened.
sucker.
Yeah.
They said
That guy there doesn't even care about life. What is that?
there were 6
He
inches
gets
of
lost
snow
in
on
the
the ground,
And they were right.
Oh, yeah. Who gives a shit?
Hey,
It is what it is.
how's your pie?
Truthfully, you get these
Ooh, it's
preppy guys that
spicy.
look like Scott out there guiding. They're going to think he's a city boy.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, like,
They said
I've
they-
been fully
You
embraced.
look at me, I'll lie to you anyway and tell you I'm awesome.
Nobody knows where we're from, eh? They don't
Oh,
understand.
no, they know
our
where I'm
accent.
from.
No.
Where are you from,
and
anyways?
we don't even realize we have an accent.
You know, your average fish is 10 pounds every time you drop down for a lake choke. You can't keep them off the hook because you want to catch a 40-pounder, but those little bastards at 10 pounds won't let it get to the bottom. It sucks. Just who likes dragging in 350 fish a day? It's not that fun.
Fuck, anybody that says a 10-pound fish sucks.
Well, they're little. You got to realize that a 40-pound fish eats a 10-pound fish. So you get into the pike territory. The thing is, you catch lake
Jason McLean should be commenting on this randomly
choke.
here.
You mean the
He
fish
agrees,
whisperer?
probably.
He could catch a fish in a mud puddle. I've
On
seen
this
it.
shitty guy.
I agree.
service.
So
I've never seen anybody in my life catch a fish like
I've
that.
swung the mic way out of the way here because fishing is way out of my limitation here.
No, I've seen you go fishing too with Jason.
No, I don't. I
No,
don't
we
fish.
go ice fishing. We let Jason go, hey, there's fish on that.
I
There's
sit
fish
in a
there.
boat. I'll sit in the boat.
Nobody can
I'd
get
rather
that
sit in the
butthurt
ice shack,
'cause
but
Jason
sometimes I
catches
take my
all the
clothes off
fish.
and lay on the ice naked. I don't know. Then somebody
true.
puts a cusk in my mouth. I don't know who did that.
I remember that.
Well, it's actually Tiny's fault, who's no longer with us because he's an asshole. He goes,
that
I
was
said,
a
mix
good
me a
day."
drink on the way down. He puts a quart in a cup. I didn't know. That's
All right.
So we get done all that, pike are 50 inches. You'll catch, on average, a 42-inch, 43-inch fish. Your trophy in Saskatchewan's 44. Everybody wants to catch trophy fish. Well, everybody does. But legitimately, on an average day, I'll catch 500 fish a day.
That's ridiculous.
That's if I fish 4 hours.
I was happy to catch a 19-inch bass this summer.
I hate bass. I wouldn't even catch those. I throw those in the bank.
So, and you guided obviously all summer,
That's a
way
big bass,
remote
Ben.
for fishing.
Yeah. in the
And
middle
then,
of nowhere.
and then in the fall,
In the fall, I go to Apex Waterfowling.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
that's in what,
My boys.
north central Saskatchewan?
Well, we're just, the biggest deer ever shot typically in the world is in Bigger, Saskatchewan.
just
6
north
miles
of
from
Vagina.
there.
Kill all of
No,
that.
it's way north. It's way north of the vagina. There is no vagina there.
They're way
Believe
north
me, I
of
can tell
Vagina.
you. So we get up there. We got a wicked lodge. Everybody else guides there. That waterfowl hunting in Saskatchewan is the mecca of the world. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
We don't guide at a hotel or a casino. Right? We got a wicked lodge. It's a hotel. It's
A lot of ducks there.
quite
So-
a few mallards and pintails.
So do the hunters stay there, or they?
They stay with us. We
Mallard.
we sleep 24 people.
So how long were you guiding waterfowl?
I got
From
we
what
got-
dates?
We got 2 months. We start September 1. I get out there on the 28th. Well, sometimes if Air Canada gets me there, I get there. But we started September 1. We'll guide till this year. We went to November 6th. That's not normal. But everything, I wore flip flops till November 4th. It was warm all year. We hunt ducks.
You've got no fucking socks on right now.
Well, it's not
It's,
snow on the
and
ground.
it's
Is it?
December.
There's no snow on the ground here.
December
it's the
9th.
greatest place on earth.
Fuck that.
The last time I come home, I told Matthew the same thing. There's no snow on the ground. It's raining out. I said, I'm going hunting. Wore flip-flops.
So September 1.
September 1, we hunt till November, I think it was 4th, 5th, 6th. I can't remember. I know it was the 6th that I left because I went to deer camp. So, I don't know. Arguably the best, I won't lie to you, the best fucking group of guys you'll ever work with in your life, calling ducks and actually know
Definitely.
what you're doing. You cannot get any better in this country than a dog that Matthew trained. I'll give a shout out to Matthew.
Oh, yeah.
Maritime dog training.
Maritime.
And
Dog
the best
training.
guys they got are from the East Coast, baby. Gavin McAleer.
Bum, 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 bum.
Myself, I'm not a goose caller. I've never been one. I don't like those stupid animals. They're scary. And I call cranes somehow. I don't even have those here. Yeah.
Well, come with me to Millville.
But you give me a duck call, I'll be all right. If Matthew can give me an East Coast one minute, but
Crane
he
season.
still ain't made me yet.
I got a
But
duck
truthfully,
call
you
for
got the best professionals you'll ever have. I'm old as hell in comparison to them boys, and
Seasoned.
waking every morning at 4:30. I learned to go to bed at 9 now.
Yeah,
Those boys still haven't figured that out.
that's how you survive. They'll figure that out.
Oh yeah, Gavin's already figured that out. He's like a 45-year-old man at 21. He doesn't know how to run a cell phone.
Guaranteed you never get up at 4:30.
Yeah, Mitch wakes me up, just like you had to.
I haven't met that guy, but I can.
He's
I
a
can
living
vouch,
legend.
I can vouch for Gavin McClure
Yeah.
that he's.
And I'll give you a full benefit. Mitch legitimately is crazier than I am. He's got the same last name as me. He might be my son. I'm not sure, but
He might be.
he kind of looks like me. Actually, he's Morgan Wallen off Wish, 100%. Not joking.
off wish.
No, he is. He's Morgan Wallen. He's always got that white T-shirt and them tucked in pants. He looks good, other than he's fat. But I mean, he can call ducks and geese like he's going to style. And not to mention, he's probably the best person I've ever seen set up a decoy spread in my life.
Holy fuck.
And it's insane. No,
Ooh, was that an insult?
Who insulted a Wilson?
I did.
Yes, he's
Easy.
a master
I have
spread
not
setter
hunted
with
with
a
Matthew
million
Wilson
geese.
in 6 years.
The liquor's in control.
Hey,
Actually,
You're not setting up my decoy spread, Scott.
me either. But I
Yeah.
hunted this year and it was fucking amazing.
So we're going this year then.
I hunted this year and I had a great fucking time.
we shot birds.
I'm
We
gonna
shot
go-
birds.
Listen,
We
The only
we
reason I'm
hunted,
saying
we,
this
we
is
hunted birds right across
we don't
the
hunt
road.
just dark geese and ducks. We got 4,000 snow geese,
No, you're good.
full bodies out there.
The plot thickens.
He is the best. He probably the
6
best. I'm
inches.
not joking. Mitch is the best person I've ever seen put decoys out. I know you like to explain what you're using that day, but Mitch doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just fucking half asleep.
Hold it, hold
It's
it.
okay,
Who
Benson.
did you insult?
It's okay.
Your brother.
Did you just insult Tiny?
I won't insult Tiny. Actually, I will now. He's not that tiny.
Hey. Listen, you will hit a soft spot in my heart if you insult Tiny. You retract your statement as the liberal government instructed the conservative government today.
I don't retract.
Take that back.
I'd like a full retraction
I
and
will
an
take
apology.
a full retraction on the insultment of Tiny.
I
Thesaurus.
redact and rebuttal
What the
that
heck did
statement.
Tiny set a decoy spread?
You take that
What I
back
heard
right
of
now.
Tiny, he couldn't walk that far.
You take that back about Tiny.
Okay, best
love
spot
that man.
spread ever was Matthew Wilson and I. We lost our
I love you, Tiny.
our hunters that day. But it's a little north of the river. Youth hunt.
Oh yeah,
That was the best spread I ever seen, actually.
it's a good one.
We couldn't find it for quite some time. 14, 15-year-old kids laying out in the field back. Oh, shit, we don't know where they're at. We didn't let them load their guns because the ducks were counting. Anyway, so besides that, I do have the best crew there is. There's no other crew
foggy.
in Saskatchewan better. There's nobody with more numbers. Claudio Angoro will lie to you and say he does. It's not true.
Oh, who?
Yeah. No, the teacher that thinks he's a duck hunter.
Oh, that's right.
Well, he's legit.
Bottom of that's harsh.
The best place to hunt in Saskatchewan is where I'm at.
It's
You
gone
blind,
anyway.
There's nothing better.
It's gone.
We have
gonna
we have
speak later.
468,000 huntable acres at our disposal. Nobody else has 6 zones. We do. And everybody who goes there has a great time. Our chef's unreal.
Yeah.
And you can't beat it. But Dave Obum,
Old big old Dave Opum.
he's quite something.
Evil.
But the
So,
thing is with that is we all have fun. We all try to succeed. We don't always shoot a limit.
No, well, nobody
Because
does.
it's an awful lot of birds to shoot in one day.
Except for maybe Tony Van.
We rarely shot limits out there.
You were in a whole different world than I was. You just shoot your specs out where you were. This year we had a wicked run of specs, but now we're allowed to shoot 8 specs and 8 pintails. And we don't have to limit.
And after you got done guiding there, you weren't done. You went.
No. After that, I left there directly. My girlfriend hates me for that, and went up for a month. I went up to St. Walburg. I went to Horsehead Trophy hunts.
Okay, so where is that in relation to Apex?
It's 2.5 hours north of where I was. It's about 2 hours north of Maidstone. Arguably the best deer hunting that you'll ever have.
Man,
in the
it's
world.
crazy. There's deer that far north, eh?
There's deer north of that.
Really?
But you're just on the edge of the bush down there. You can't hunt deer on the prairies if you're not a resident there. You have to be at the edge of the farm ground. We are at the edge. North Saskatchewan River runs. There we are. This year's a little different. They didn't have a growing season.
Yeah.
But you got to realize, mature deer. I don't care if they're growing 180-inch horns or they got 150. Not every deer makes 180. They can't.
Yeah.
The genetics ain't there. But the best place to ever hunt in the world is where the genetics are.
And I noticed a lot of the pictures you posted, a lot of chocolate antler deer.
Everything's chocolate. They're all rubbing on pines and spruce. I have a couple stands that you'll have the whiter color.
So what are they feeding on way up there in northern Saskatchewan?
It's no different. They're browsers, right?
Yeah.
We're on the edge of the farmland. It'd be no different than here.
Okay,
You jump like right across the road here. You got a hardwood stand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We don't have hardwood there. We got pulpwood. We got softwood.
Yeah. Do they call it aspen out there?
Oh, drive me nuts. Don't even. They also call it quarter 2.6. Don't even start me.
Oh, jeez.
Like I'm from Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't American. You wear a flat beak hat for fun right now, just to look like an American.
That's right.
But I ain't.
Your peak's curved.
I don't want it to be. This foul bore outfitter, Huck, these guys hunt with us. They're great guys, by the way. I'll show it to them right now. If you want to go shoot some stuff in Texas, call my boys. But truthfully, up there, it wasn't a good year for growing. It was a late spring. Antlers weren't there.
And are they guiding anything else other than deer up there?
No, we're all whitetail only. Wow.
Really?
Whitetail only where I'm at.
Okay, and how long were you there for?
4 weeks.
Frig, man, that's pretty cool.
We hunt until...
And you just got done, basically.
I left there on the 7th, got stuck on the tarmac for 14 hours, and then I got home.
And it was like minus 42.
It was minus 42, actually, when I left.
Good night.
Yeah, I don't go back. The thing is, out there, deer move in the East Coast when it's cold, right? They have to. Out there, a deer will feed once. You can bait there. We've got two bales of alfalfa. You got, your salt. Everybody puts salt for late season or early season. And then we've got peas and grain mixed together. 50-50 mix.
Yeah.
You drop 2 bags of grain, you put a bale. Thing is different. Bale doesn't last a day out there. There's 40 deer on a bait.
What are they hunting out of?
There's either like you're closed in sportsman condo in a tree, or I hunt you out of a tent blind. You always got Mr. Buddy here. Get a raven wear suit or get a.
You'd pretty much have to, or you'd have to have a heated suit. Or
I had a guy.
frozen.
Heated vest is a great thing to have out there.
Yeah.
I never had one till there.
Yeah.
Like I don't wear socks, so I'm kind of different. Well, I'm strange.
I'll never forget the picture when we went duck hunting in December on that friggin' little pond, and you were in dress shoes, white dress shoes, and no socks.
I shot more deer and moose in my life with dress shoes and flip flops on than any human on this earth. I guarantee it.
Going back to your roots.
You still don't have socks or shoes.
There's
worth
no
of
snow
shit
on the ground, Scott. There was snow when I left Saskatchewan. There's none here. This is heaven.
Them fucking white dress shoes, good lord.
Those were great. I love those.
Listen, man, that's your signature.
The truth of the matter is, if you want to look on Apex's website, it shows they call me Toes.
Yeah.
People question my intelligence.
Toes instead of Piggio?
Well, that's your name. Well, so what if I called ducks pigeons and pigeons ducks one time?
It doesn't fucking matter.
Hey.
Your handle is Piggio.
I didn't put that on the website.
When you meet people,
I didn't put Toes on
when
there
you
either.
meet people, you tell them that I am called Piggio.
Pidgegus.
You know,
Pidgegus.
Harmonious.
Armodigus. Foreskinigus.
I don't have that now. It's gone.
I
Don't know
grew
what
out of
happened.
that.
No, I broke it yesterday.
You don't grow out of the handle.
No.
That is your handle. When you meet people, that's how you meet them.
They all know me as Toes now, and it's not my fault.
No, it ain't Toes, brother.
Not here.
No.
So
I'm
So
never
I'll
here
call you-
anymore. I'm so excited to be here for the month of December.
I'll
We can
know
hunt
you
ducks
as
to the end of
Toes
December.
from here on out.
No,
but
you owe me as you
for-
know me
for-
as Piggio. You leave it
forever. You introduce yourself as Pidgegus.
Armodigus.
Armodigus,
There we go.
Forskinnigus.
I can't use the Forskinnigus, but I won't explain. I've been gone for 3 months, and that
It
happened
doesn't
last
matter.
night.
That's how you introduce. You just introduce yourself as.
Yeah, it's true.
So-
you were the one who did that to me. You
No,
named
I,
me
did,
that.
I didn't.
So
you
what if
did
I
it
see
to
ducks
yourself.
or pigeons and thought they were ducks?
That
happens all the time.
That happened
Listen,
You know
several
what?
times.
This is a
that
true
day.
story. I shot a pigeon on the water this year.
It
in a
don't
duck
happen.
hunt.
And
I ate it.
Listen, you
was
consume your nickname.
Eat the rest of that.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so
boy.
you got done your
That's
got done your deer
I've
guide.
done all that. I just left deer hunting.
So what do
We
you?
had good deer.
what do you got
One of
planned
the
for the
best places
winter?
you'll go. It's probably the best pricing you'll ever see.
Yeah,
Ever in Saskatchewan. Deer hunts in Saskatchewan are
Listen.
ridiculously high.
I'll tell you what. I'd
My
sell a
opinion
deer
is
hunt
you-
real cheap because you probably won't see shit.
Normally, yeah. New Brunswick used to hunt deer. Well,
Yeah.
by the way, we don't have any. That's why it's more impressive now to watch these guys who've shot deer this year. I've been out west. I see a deer every 15 seconds I drive.
So what's
You
the
guys
plans
see a deer
for
every
winter
15
time?
days. For the winter, I'm gonna get Jason to take me to catch fish because he's a fish whisperer.
So you're just gonna take it easy this winter?
Hey,
Yeah.
listen.
I'm not actually gonna.
We've
I don't know what
got
to do yet.
ice shacks spread all over the countryside. So I'm not going to represent Jason's ice shack, but I've got one.
On
Yeah, I got
North.
first deal. I can't use live bait. Screw that. I'm out.
No, I'm on Northlight. I put that on Northlight.
Come again?
So we got.
That's international water.
So we've
Where'd
got.
you put it by the diving board? Are you by the diving board?
I've got.
Are you where I broke the truck through?
I've got a mutual agreement with the United States
Is it the
government.
green shack that I like sleeping in?
No, it's red.
Oh.
Red and white.
You know what color it is?
It's red and white.
Team Canada. There we go.
Yeah.
So you're gonna take it easy this winter probably then.
Yeah,
Stick
I've-
around home.
I've been home legit 3 months. That's 21 days in the last 7 months.
You got plans for this spring?
Yeah, I gotta go back out and guide some geese, them white bastards.
Oh yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
What are you thinking about that though? Like, do you think that
They'll be-
there's a shitload of them dying in the Central Flyway?
Yeah, they died more last year than they did this year.
Fuck, I don't
I
know,
found
man.
47 of them in one pond.
I'm
That's
telling-
not a joke.
I'm telling you right now, they are fucking dying.
You know
right
what
now.
though? I was out there all year. There was more gray geese this spring. There was last year or this fall. There was last fall. Our average was like the snow goose hunt. You know how it works. You're either gonna hit them or you're gonna miss them. There's
Yeah.
no in between. You don't shoot 10. You don't shoot 20.
Yeah.
You shoot 100 or you shoot none.
Yeah.
Our average this spring, which was when the bird flu started, I found 47 dead ones in one sheet water in one day.
Jeez.
They bob around like that. I killed 3 of them with bare hands just to help them
Yeah.
jump out of a dish,
Yeah, it's a sad sight.
just like that.
Yeah.
But you know why they do that? They're overpopulated.
Did you get any bands?
Humans think what? Bears? Yeah, I shot
Get any bands?
I don't ever.
Bands.
I never shot a band in my life. I tried one time. Actually, the only one I ever shot in my life was your birthday. You were at the river.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I said, screw you guys. I'm going on.
Did you just say you sharded?
Oh, I do that every year. If you don't do that once a year, then you ain't trying.
That's what I heard.
But you're
I
gonna,
actually did this year.
but you're gonna continue on with the guide. Like
Yeah,
so.
this is my life, and you
Yeah.
know what? I work for the best company there is, and I don't give a shit what anybody tells you. Saskatchewan's the mecca of the world. You want to go shoot some shit? Go there.
I might go there next fall. Upland hunting.
I take you with that dog. You take it. I take two.
I'm gonna.
I take 2 of those drathers every year, both ways.
Yeah.
Like legit, they hunt with me in the afternoon for outplaying because I'm the only one dumb enough to go walk around the woods. But or actually, it's not even woods; it's field.
Yeah.
Sharp tails, huns are everywhere.
Yeah.
You get a rough feed where I hunt like waterfowl is weird, but the sharp tails are everywhere.
Yeah. We might go out there and shoot some pheasants and sharp tails and
You don't go
hunt.
south to shoot
And I
fish.
might take a little trip up north and visit you.
Come on over, party on, rah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's cool though. I mean, you're
It's a
definitely
great life. It's a guide life.
Yeah, you're definitely living the life that. I mean, if we didn't
It's
have
hard on
kids
humans.
and wives, then
It
we'd
is.
love to do that. But
Listen, Benson,
Yeah.
I am fully jealous sitting over here
Oh,
across
yeah.
from you.
It's the only thing kept me
Jealous.
from death or jail.
This
so.
is
Yeah,
is
right?
It's true.
This is
Like,
it is
jealousy
the
I'm
truth.
sitting
crazy
over
as hell.
here.
There ain't no one crazier than me.
yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, but when I get out there, I care more about somebody else's experience than my own.
Well, it's
Somebody
a good,
shoots
it's a
a
good
deer.
life.
And
I-
that's what it's about.
The guy shot a deer off my shoulder. I'm pretty sure I was shaking worse than him.
Yeah.
Like I was like, fuck, pull trigger, fuck
And,
trigger.
and I've been there. I
the
know.
same
I
idea.
know exactly what you're saying.
It's exciting.
I've been on my knees
Yeah.
and said, "Hey,
Let her
fucking
go.
let her roll,
Like
let her
dangle
roll
that
off
son
the
of a
side."
right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Truth matters. When I don't have that feeling, I will stop. And I
Yeah.
did that when I worked for North Star Outfitters. I worked like the Hanson worked with me. I brought him out there. But the next year I went out. It was a different game. I had to clean 6,500 birds by myself.
Yeah, that's not.
You know,
Good land.
you slept 3 hours a week.
You don't
You
have.
can't function, man.
No.
You don't.
You
clean
hate
your own
everything. I
birds.
didn't hunt. I never hunted geese with fucking anybody's. I haven't hunted New Brunswick in 10 years.
Yeah.
When's the last time? Last time was
The duck cabin. The duck cabin.
Yeah,
we found you
I
drunk
didn't-
on the potato
I
pile.
was drunk yesterday. Like,
the duck
that-
cabin.
Truthfully, I don't need a gun
Let's
if I go
just
to that
keep
duck
saying
cabin, though,
that word.
for a reason, because that's my experience to let loose. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I was the last time I killed a bird in New Brunswick. I don't remember.
Mm,
I don't. Robert Oaks cornfield.
maybe,
You picked me
yeah.
up
It's
there
been a
for
while for sure.
8 years, 10 years ago.
A long time.
It's been a day or
But you know what? I don't miss it. I mean, I shoot ducks and
Well, you're still going at it hard. You're just going at
Do
it.
you
in
guys
a
get a
pretty
chance-
wicked
I
spot.
get to hunt every Saturday. And when we go, we don't shoot big fields because we don't want to blow them up for our customers, right?
How
Yeah.
come? How come Saturday?
We guide from it's 3-day hunts, right?
So you're
So you
hunting
got-
Saturday afternoon?
No, you get Sunday. So you're right. I pick up clients Sunday afternoon at the airport. We don't hunt Saturday. They hunt Saturday morning. We get let loose on Saturday night.
Well, that's pretty cool, though, man. I mean, you like I said, you're definitely living the life that we.
It's funny
would-
because I'm
Oh,
not. I wasn't.
yeah, so-
Matthew taught me how to hunt. To be honest with ducks and geese.
I remember
We
meeting
met
you
you.
right
we
down
met
there.
you there. We never knew for a whole.
Yeah.
Matt and I were getting bullets. Fucking Matt Culver's place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt
Let's go
Cullen.
hunting then tomorrow.
Yeah,
Well, we had the old carrier. Oh, you still got? You better have
Chubby buddy.
You better have Chubby.
I don't know where Chubby.
He's
is.
MIA.
You're
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
I know.
I'm not talking to you.
I
Ernest.
think
Boys-
I think I lost him in the divorce.
Actually,
We
you know
should-
what? I think you lost him on the back.
Well,
of the
you
truck, so I
better
remember it.
tell Rowan to find Chubby buddy.
No, it was. I bet you know where it's at. Actually, it's on the Dryer Road. I think I remember coming on.
I got Chubby
I'm not even joking either. Actually, I know that fell off there. We had it
feel,
last time I
I
hunted
feel
with
a
you.
part of Chubby buddy.
That thing was the
I
best.
like
They're
Chubby
the best
Buddy.
decoys ever created, by the way. Them
don't-
soft plastic. Ooh, I love them things.
We're gonna slide the mic over to Jedediah.
I'm gonna get mad.
Jedediah.
I fucking hate
Haven't heard from you all night.
This man's been sitting here quietly in the corner, and he's
Yeah, you better take me off. I hate diving so much.
Jedediah has been coming up here for years to hunt with us. So much so that he built a camp in my backyard. Not even joking.
So much so that in September of 2020,
2020.
2020.
in Edmonton, he walked up to me and said, "Hey man, how's it going?" I went, "Good." He said, "You don't know who I am," and I went, "No, fuck, no, I don't."
Didn't
Yeah.
expect to see you way the hell out here.
I'm Jed. I went, "Oh shit, yes."
I
Jed,
remember.
thanks for fucking saying hi to me because I did not expect to see somebody I knew in Edmonton. So
I know,
Going to
right?
kill all those moose up in Edmonton, eh?
we had a great hunt. I did not expect to see somebody I knew in Edmonton.
So, obviously, you've got kids that are super involved in sports and shit, and you're not traveling up here to hunt waterfowl with us quite as much, but you're still getting after it down over around where you live. We won't say.
I try and do a little bit, but this year the kids with the sports and my job kind of messed me up a little bit. So I got out the first day of October with the boys for a few hours and had to leave the field a little early and locked my keys in my car. And next thing you know, I'm sitting on the side of the highway in not Kings County,
Yeah, not Kings County.
Charlotte County.
Not the home of major amounts of ungulates.
Charlotte County, though. Gotta get
Charlotte
this-
County.
Okay.
Yeah. Way
Yeah,
over
so-
somewhere else.
No, my waterfowl's years have been pretty down and out with the kids. They'll come back though. They'll get a few years. They'll get a little older, but so I kind of stepped into the whitetail a little bit more. I did a lot of it over the years before, but now just kind of getting back to that time. Get a nuisance tag in my subdivision that I live.
Your subdivision that you have dogs.
which is a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it seems that if you don't know anybody in the areas that have the acreage, then you can't get a nuisance tag down there. So we get lucky enough. My neighbor wants them off his property, so we help him out every year.
Yeah, and you've got some ground there too that you're able to hunt.
Yeah, we've got. I think there's about 120 acres or so, or 130 acres there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so we try, but in that area, there's probably 8 or 9 hunters within. I'm gonna say within a kilometer. So,
but
a lot of pressure.
You've also got more deer in your 1/64th of a backyard than I do in all of my entire back 40.
Yeah, earlier I was showing you
True
videos
story.
and pictures of what's walking through the backyard, but
Didn't one have a swing set stuck on its head or something like that? Like, not even joking, or a rope or something.
no, it was it looks to me in the video. It was 11 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. I brought the young fellow home from hockey, and Jill starts hollering, "Check out the backyard! Check out the backyard!" And I'm thinking, "Oh, what's this in the backyard?" Right? So
Yeah.
I looked out because sometimes it could be someone's dog running across, or it could be a bear, or you never know what it is, right? So I look out, and there's this beautiful 8-point buck, real tall rack on it. It was a young deer though, and I was like, something's wrapped around his antlers. I looked, sure enough, it looks to me in the video that I was watching over and over that it's a clothesline, someone's clothesline. So what do? Nuisance area is probably 600 meters from my doorstep. I try and follow it down through the woods to see if I can get it. But then,
Run down to your nuisance area and try to call it in.
yeah, stupid me. Forget my release for my bow in my other stand. That's quite a ways away. So. Now this year was pretty hard for the whitetail for me with the kids. Yeah, I spent the life savings, I think, trying to get things wrapped up, but I guess
Well,
we
we all go through that though. We've all got kids, and except for Benson,
except for me.
and he's the one who's guiding for a living.
I mean, regardless of kids or not, damn turns happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you go through highs and lows as a whitetailer, and it's part of being part of hunting.
So
you have highs, you have lows,
Yeah.
you hunt, you experience it through other people.
So I'll give you a scenario. The last 3 years, the last week of October, or the last week of the season, I take it off. I just say, shut her down. I usually shut her down on Tuesday, Wednesday, and the rest of the week I go hunting. So 2020, I shot a small 8-point buck November 19th, 11 o'clock with my dad. It was pretty cool feeling, right? So you're pretty pumped.
Absolutely.
You're pretty pumped about it because we never usually hunt together. We have separate stands and stuff like that. So 2021, what's the date? November 19th.
Yeah.
My dad shot an 8-pointer. I think it was 2 days. So he shot an 8-pointer on the 17th, and he's like, "Hey, you want to use my stand? Go ahead." I wasn't seeing much because I've been trying to get into the archery and trying to shoot with my bow, and I'm trying to get in closer and all that. So he said, "Here, use my stand." So it was November 19th, 2021. Dad said, "I might go with you." My dad's got a pretty Mac Daddy stand there. It's 14 feet in the air, 8x8 baby barn.
Basically a camp.
Yeah, so it's pretty good there, and he's got
the Taj Mahal.
Yeah, so pretty much.
Yeah.
So 2021, November 19th, we crawl up in. It was raining. It was miserable morning. So we crawl up in the stand, sit there, no sooner open the window, and I'm like, "Jesus, what is that?" I give him a little tap on the leg there, and he's sitting beside me because I'm a left-handed shooter, right? So he could actually sit over my shoulder and watch what I was doing. He's like, "Oh, that's just that little doe that's walking in." He said it comes in every morning within 5 minutes of us showing up.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. So I pulled the gun up, took a look for a second. I said, "Well, can I shoot your little doe?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you want to do." I had a doe tag, right? So I just want to shoot an animal, get some feed for the kids and the family for the winter. To me, I like to try and grow the herd, but sometimes it's good to equal out the herd too. So I knew what it was in the scope.
Jason's into the liquor.
You all
The
right,
liquor's
Jay?
fighting back.
So yeah, this little doe is what my old man thought was coming in, and
It spoke to him.
yeah, it spoke to him all right.
Yeah.
It was the biggest 8-point buck I've shot to this day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So he's like, "What are you shooting at?" He said, "It ran away," because I'd only stepped out and I could see the front half, and it was broadside, and then it started quartering to me. So I was kind of taking that odd shot, and I'm like, you know what? I'd been watching the camera. They've been in and out of there pretty steady. We got a pretty good herd there. We're probably averaging 15 or 20 different deer there daily. And so I took the shot, went up, couldn't find no blood.
Oh.
No blood.
Wow.
And I mean no blood whatsoever. So I was like, okay. We walked around there for a minute. Well, my dad thought it went one way, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I said, there's a little alder swale. There's a pretty good trail beat down through here. We're going to skip up through it. I never walked 50 yards, and the thing was hung up in the trees. Literally hung up in the trees.
Jeez.
Head standing straight up in the air. And I'm like, what is this? So it was a pretty good harvest there. So there's 2 years in a row, November 19th.
Yeah.
Shot a couple nice bucks. Got to do it with my dad. And
Got to do it with your dad.
That's
Yeah.
awesome to
yeah, so
do that with your father. And then there was this year's Feed a Frenchman program.
so it's we for the listeners there. I've got a pretty good relationship with some of the boys up here, and I get random text messages once in a while, like, "Hey, how's the deer hunting going down in the south?" And "Oh yeah, it's going pretty good." But you know what? I just shot a nuisance tag or shot my nuisance deer, and I don't know if I really want to shoot another one because I don't want to fill the freezer too much and waste it, and I'm not a wasteful person. So I've got a few friends that like the deer meat quite a bit, and they live off the meat. So they asked me to harvest one. So I usually one time I remember Wesley text me and said, "Hey, any deer down there?" I said, "Well, maybe."
Yeah.
"What do you want?" He said, "Well, I just want some deer meat." He said, "Between Dad and I, we want to split some deer meat." And he said, "We love deer meat, and
Yeah.
we just don't have the time, and we don't have the deer up
We
here."
don't have any deer.
So sure enough, I think that was like 4:53,
Yeah.
4:57. I said to Wesley, "Well, fire up the freezers because we got a
Yeah. You
nice."
sent a picture of a deer.
Yeah. Oh, there was a deer that year. Yeah. So I was like, "Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah." Shot a little nice doe for them there to wind down the herd a little bit, but this year's the same way. Like I probably hunted. I'm gonna say I was out 15 or 16 days. Not every day I could put the full day in, but half the time was the mornings or the nights, depending on the boys' hockey. So
Yeah.
I get out. I was watching does every day. Like I could drop my apples, and 6 minutes later, there's does standing there. So it's pretty good feeling. I want to try and grow the herd, so I watched 4-pointers. I watched 6-pointers, little 6-pointers. I had a nice 7-pointer in there, but I'm like, you know what? Next year he'll be even better. Right?
Yeah.
So I moose hunted this year too, so we got a small little bull there. He had a little bit of moose
Well,
meat,
and I mean, where you're at, I mean, you legit need to manage the herd.
well, and that's the
you've
thing
got-
is,
Yeah,
You've got deer.
The herd is in your area.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had
Over
this one,
towards Moncton.
Charlotte County.
Yes.
So I had this one doe, and every time another,
What was she
she was a bitch.
a bitch?
She was a bitch. She was a straight up.
I just like those does.
Me
That
too.
bitch had it coming.
You know, they're snakier than any buck in the woods.
Yeah. Literally, she'd be sitting at the apple trees that are around there, and she'd be eating apples, and all of a sudden something else would walk in, and she'd put the front hoof right to them. She'd stand up on the back legs, and I said, you know what? I got a deal for that bitch.
Yeah.
I got this Winchester
That's
XP,
going on the Feed a Frenchman program.
180 grain bullets, and I think I'm going to fill her full.
Yeah.
So I waited all season, boys, and Wesley's like, are you going to be Wesley's like, are you going to be able to feed us this winter, or what's the scenario? And I'm like, well, Wesley, just relax. I got deer here every day. I know something. I'm going to be able to shoot something for you. So Sunday morning, the last day of the season, my buddy called me up. He said, hey, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I just got home from hockey with the boys. He's like, I just shot a doe. He said, I walked out behind my house, shot a doe. It's the second deer he's ever shot in his life. So he's like, you wouldn't mind giving me a hand, would you? It's like 2 miles back in the woods. I got no way to get it. Nothing. So long story short, I went in, helped him get it, pulled the guts out of it, punched it all out, did the dressing that I was supposed to do for him, helped him. Got it on the hook. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He's like, what are you doing now? I said, I'm going to sit my stand. He said, geez, is there any room there for me to come sit? He says, you're always talking about all these deer and you're showing me the pictures and stuff. I said, yeah, come on. I said, to me, it's private land. I'm not worried about my buddy coming in and hunting my land or whatnot. If he wanted to hunt, I'd let him hunt. So we go 2 o'clock. We head out. 2:38. We dropped our apples off in the pile. Crawl into the stand. 2:41. All of a sudden, this doe walks out. Well, isn't it the bitch? And I had said to him when I went out there, I said,
and you said, ooh.
Yeah.
I got some Frenchmen that are going to be happy today. Ah, oui.
Tastes delicioso.
So,
Oh, that's Italian.
yeah. So my buddy was so eager for me to shoot this deer. He's like, shoot it. So this stand, I moved everything up to about 28 yards for the bow, just to try and make it a little bit feasible. So I got a 30-06 Browning in my hands. Bar, semi-automatic.
Transerosis.
Yes, sir. So I'm sitting there, and he wants me to kill this thing. And I'm like, listen, I know there's bucks around. Maybe this little 6-pointer will walk out. No, I'll take it for you. So I told him I wouldn't let this doe leave. I said, I won't let her leave. So she fed there for, I bet you, 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes. Something was spooking her, and I figured something was coming in on the right-hand side of her, but I promised my buddy I wasn't going to let this doe leave. So she walked up. So now think I'm 12 to 14 feet in the air in a building. This doe was walking directly at me. And I'm like, shit. She's going to get away from me. She's going to get away from me. So she walked up. She kept coming closer. Next thing you know, I kind of stood up, slid out the window. My whole front, half part of my body's out the window now. So if you think you're 12 feet in the air, I'm short as shit. So my arms might be 2.5 feet long, right? But I got this great big Browning 30-06. I got it slammed out the window. So I'm literally 10 feet from this doe. Literally 10 feet. And he's like, I could hear him in the back behind me. Shoot it. Just shoot it. What are you waiting for?
Oh,
So I never realized I was on 6 power on my scope.
Oh,
I'm like,
geez.
oh, damn. All I could see was the gray and black in the ears.
Holy shit.
So I'll leave the story at that because I pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I forget about that.
I pulled the trigger. I turned and looked at my buddy, and he's like, did you get it? Did you get it? I'm
I
like,
shot that fucker right in the brain.
I'm like, well, yeah, I think I got it. And he's like, well, what are you doing? You're not getting out. I said, well, I can't see it now. He's like, okay. I said, well, just go out and open the door and see if it's there. So by this time, I got the book bag, and I'm putting everything in the book bag. I'm texting Wesley saying, Wesley, we got a deer here, so I'm gonna go register it and get you a meat permit on Monday, and we'll transfer this thing over. My buddy's still at this point. He's like, where the hell is this deer? I said, just open the door, man. We're up a 12-foot ladder. He comes down the 12-foot ladder. He steps right on top of this deer. He's like, holy shit. So threw it in the back of the bike, drug her down the road about a mile because I'm not one to paunching or dressing a deer anywhere near where I. And I see videos, and I've got trail cameras, and I've seen deer come back in the same day or the next day and whatnot. But we've got quite a few acres there. We can put it somewhere else for a coyote pile or whatnot and kind of thing. So that was my season for deer, but yeah, hopefully
Pretty good. Dad was pleased. He made liver smoothies and ate the feet and the ears, and you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you know what? And you know what? Everyone's like, "Oh, well, you give a deer away." I said, "Yeah, but I took part of it too.
yeah.
Like I never give the whole deer away.
Oh yeah.
I took part of my meat.
Yeah.
I'll
You take
eat-
the
I'll
best
eat
stuff.
some.
Dad likes the guts and all the shit people don't eat anyway.
Yeah, well,
They don't call him the kitchen coyote for nothing.
yeah, yeah. So no, but that same block of woods, though, like we'll look after that all winter
Yeah.
long. Like,
Well, it's cool. You got land and you got deer, and you can manage it and run it like people do in the States kind of deal, or where places that they actually have deer.
Well, the only downfall with that piece of property, though, it's only 1,000 feet wide. It's only about 1,000 feet wide, so you got a lot of properties along the side of it, and the boys are all shooting small bucks around us. So, oh well, there's lots of deer.
Well, I mean, they've all migrated to that area of the province.
Have you seen what kind of spread that I
Moncton.
put out for a mix for them? How about 3 bins of apples?
Oh yeah.
And they're cleaning it up.
80 bags of feed. 80.
Yeah.
80 bags of feed. But I help them out all winter. I don't feed them come January. Once we get 1.5 feet of snow down there, I stop feeding. I don't feed them again until like March. I'll hike out with a sled and a couple bags of feed there when everything's starting to break up and help them out a little bit. But I can see the growth in the antlers just by what I'm doing right now, the way that I'm feeding them. So, but
well, I mean, it's in your area.
Yeah, that's a good part of it.
Everything's pushing down that way
Towards Moncton.
Yeah.
But the problem is in my area, it's a subdivision deer. Well, you look at St. John, the new program that they've got going on with trying to manage their deer. If I'm not mistaken, Quispam stopped.
Oh, really? What do you mean by that?
Well, with Quispam stopping, there's a couple of years now that they had some misaims in their archery. Some people weren't happy with what they were seeing. Maybe they were low shots. Yeah, it happens. Doesn't matter.
That's what I kind of wondered about that urban deer hunting. Like, you know that there's, we'll say I lived down there for a while when I was going to school, and like 8 out of 10 people were like, kill these bastards.
Yeah.
But the other 2 people were like, I don't want a deer to die in my front yard.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
They were louder.
Yeah. The two are the loudest.
So you say that because the first doe that I shot with my nuisance tag in the subdivision I live 4 doors down, so I'm literally 800 meters from my about 800 meters from my stand. I shot this doe. She came in real quick. A couple days into the season, I'm going to get it done. Well, there's a rock ridge line that runs down behind all our houses. I shot this doe, boys. My first deer kill with my bow. It took off and it bounced, and I was literally watching it bounce down the rock ridge line, heading for the subdivision of the houses. Good work, Benson. Yeah, so this doe's running down, and I mean it's full out run, heading for the subdivision houses, and I'm thinking, oh god, here we go. I wasn't really comfortable with the bow enough that I didn't know what kind of shot I made. I filmed it, so what I did is I just rewinded the film, knew that it was a perfect kill shot. I walked about 120 yards, and this doe was bouncing. As it was bouncing, it went in the air, and the feet came out from underneath it. Well, it rolled down the hill, and by the time it stopped rolling, it was about, I'm going to say 40 feet from the owner's house that I was hunting at. So it's 40 feet from his deck. Yeah. So you walk down, and he's like, "Good shot, bud." It didn't run down through the subdivision. I'm like, right on. It kind of broke me into the neighborhoods because they were saying I've got pictures of deer that their backs were shot off them, right? Hunters missing, miss shooting high, not judging, and I really think that comes to the ethics of things of, hey, listen, you got to make sure what your shot is. Pin your yardage or do some type of yardage.
Shoot more.
Shoot more.
Become a bow hunter.
Yeah. A lot of those guys, and I'm not knocking like where I come from, but a lot of guys are using crossbows.
Yeah, crossbows.
But it's also hard too. You get buck fever. You can't practice for that. I mean, in Indiana, that was my first real deer hunt, I would say. And I mean, I got buck fever on a spike horn and missed it at 10 yards. Like,
I found that
shit.
Just means it's worth hunting.
It just.
If it ain't got antlers, I don't get excited at all. If it's got antlers, I hardly hold the gun there.
Yeah.
If I ever get to the point where I don't get buck fever, I'm done.
Yeah.
Scott, you say that though, but
to me, God.
for like the last 14 years that I've hunted heavy, I'm gonna say there's been 2 years that I haven't killed a whitetail, if it's been a doe or a buck, and from what I remember, I only got buck fever twice.
Yeah.
And it was both bucks. My dad was there. It was more or less that you have that.
But I think you're more of a waterfowl hunter, though. You just obviously can't do it as much down there. You can't come up here like you used to. And shit, you used to travel clear to freaking Woodstock to come bird hunt with us. You built a damn camp up here.
Yeah,
I know. I used to work a night shift, leave at 3 o'clock in the morning in my night shift, and drive the whole way up here.
Yeah.
Meet you guys in the field. meet you guys in the field, hunt, drive home. So now I'm in probably like 30 hours with no sleep, easy, and I'd always make it as far as Kingsclear. And I'd be passed out in the either back seat of the car or the front seat of the car. And
you would just drive home and not remember the drive from Ormoc to St. John.
I passed out in Kingsclear, but I made it home.
I woke up in St. John. Next thing I knew, I was in my driveway.
Well, I figured if I didn't do something like a place to stay up here with...
We're all humans. You could have slept with them while not sleep with us.
Oh, yeah. No, I spent many nights. Wilson, when his... I think the first time I met Wilson was with old Goldsworthy.
Yeah.
We come up and spent a week up here.
Yep.
Yeah, what a shit show that was.
Do you remember the night that he come after me in the basement?
Oh, do I ever?
And I had to choke him out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Somebody else beyond me. You ain't Come on,
then. Fucking kept going at me. I'm like, go on, man.
And upstairs, the racket that was coming out from the one upstairs screaming and hollering at us because it was 3 o'clock in the morning and blowing the duck call in the basement.
Yeah, blowing street routines in the basement.
But Rowan was was Rowan just a baby?
Yeah,
Rowan was just a baby. Like he wouldn't have been one, would he?
No, he wouldn't have been. No.
Yeah.
No, he was born He was like
Matt,
2 months old.
Matt brought Rowan.
He was born in August. You guys came. You guys came. I had just moved into that house.
Yeah. Welcome to the world, Rowan Wilson.
Come stay for a week.
Yeah.
First night, hammered.
Oh yeah,
fighting in the basement.
Yeah, I remember those times.
So the lights on, don't come down.
Like normal.
So the next year.
Yeah.
We were not invited to Matthew Wilson's house. Yeah. We rented a hotel for a week. We trashed that fucking place.
Oh, man. I remember that.
Holy
we rented the Howard Johnson's.
Fucking right.
And I remember, what's his name there? The union dude.
Jamie Prophet?
Prophet, yes.
Prophet. Oh,
okay, so we're talking a long time ago. I remember he went in and spent like $60 on friggin' Tim Hortons breakfast sandwiches.
But didn't you guys take him down to the bar too that night? Down to the what's the bar here in Woodstock? The pub.
River.
The river.
That was
the river.
Pub back then.
And that morning we were stubbling blinds, and Bruce was with us, and this truck pulls in the field after we were setting up already. And I looked over at Bruce, and I'm like, "You like to fight?" He said, "Fucking right." Yeah. I said, good, because I said, we might get in one right now.
Yeah, that was when we started rolling in here.
I'd rather fight than fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to fight or fuck, and I don't see your sisters, all I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, that was
all right.
Well, so, thanks for breaking my virginity here, boys.
So,
a hell of a
2
night.
hours and 14 minutes.
It's your kind of people that come up here that I quit goose hunting.
Yeah. My type of people?
Yeah, not from here.
No. Well, hey, listen.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
You're a city boy where I come from.
All right.
City boy.
Moving
I think
on.
I'm more of a country boy from where I come from than you guys are.
Come again?
That's true.
We were
come down to my area and see how many.
Carlton County where man stinks, and we were dirty underwear.
Come to Carlton County.
Man stinks, we were dirty underwear.
Man stinks. All right.
Yes, well.
I'm not saying we're saving the best for last, but we're definitely saving the best for last.
Ooh,
we have got the two most hardcore deer hunters that I've ever known in my life, by far.
Oh yeah, he shot two before you.
To tell their story about New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
The journey.
We've got Scott Wilson and Jason McLean, and those guys are absolute deer nuts.
I'll tell you what, like
it's stupid.
In the springtime, when I was turkey hunting and telling my story every day on the group message, and everybody was watching that and they're reading it and saying how much they enjoyed it. Like you fellas this fall enjoyed your journey. That was good.
It's
fucking
awesome.
Deer getting slammed and
your deer escapades.
Chasing deer out of the woods and shooting them on the run. Like that's my type of
your
deer
escapades
hunting.
in Indiana with the floods and always love listening. I'm not a big deer hunter, but I always love listening to your guys' stories.
By look at Wes, you are a big deer hunter. Look at that 8-point over there.
That's a giant.
Right from Indiana. Oh, pretty much in buck country, and he got that one.
I'd shoot. That would be the deer that I would shoot right there.
Oh, listen, I'd shoot that.
I bet you it's got 109 inches on it.
Benson.
max.
Benson, if you were on day 11, the last minute of the
I
hunt,
would never hunt to day 11.
would you shoot that?
I'd shoot that on day 1. Wes.
I'd
I'm
shoot
smart.
that
You
on
gotta
day
get drunk
one.
for 10 days.
I'll tell you the type of deer hunter that I am. Like,
Shotgun Sally.
That's right. And when I went to Graham and Ann, here's a quick deer hunting story for me.
It's a good one. I can back this one up.
I said to Scott, I said, look,
instead.
look at, here's how it is. If I could hit one with the car on the way to the stand,
Word for word.
and be done today. Not that I don't enjoy your company, but like, hey, look, I don't care what it is. I just want to eat it. So let's whatever. If I hit one with the car, I'm gonna drive real fast. And if I hit one with the car, this is the same car that we were talking about earlier, running over the raccoon and everything else. So I leave.
And listen, so you got your son with you.
No. This was the first year. This was before I had Rowan with me.
This was before.
This was before.
So I got my father-in-law.
Yeah,
with me.
you do. Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah. So, so we leave the camp. I leave first.
First night he makes it to camp and doesn't hit the fucking deer.
I don't hit the deer
No.
on the way to the camp. So we've got one opportunity missed. The next morning, I get my bow in the car. And I'm like, hey, look, I'm looking forward to hunting, but I'm here to tell you, like, if I can hit one with the car, I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't have to shoot one.
And listen, I've got him in a spot.
You have your
that's
shotgun with you in
automatic.
case.
All he's got to do is
This
just sit still for an hour and a half.
This is like the deer hunter
You know
game.
your
he
brother.
just needs to go
I knew the
to the
bait.
stand at 6 o'clock, and he needs to make it till 7:30.
I knew the bait
That's
was
it.
there. The feed, we had set the trap. Okay, we had set the trap.
Trap was set.
And I had to get into the stand. So in right Matt Wilson form of walking in the deer stands, I left.
Waterfowl camel.
I left the.
Only guy I ever met shot deer not in the stand yet.
That's right. And I leave the lodge, and I get about 2 clicks
It's not
down.
a lodge, Matthew.
It's a lodge to me. I'm on an island. I'm not living in a lean-to. It's a lodge. I leave the lodge, and I get about 2.5 kilometers down the road driving swiftly. And
In a Toyota Echo.
and a Toyota Echo.
The Screaming Echo.
and
Screaming.
and Scott's phone rings
Yeah.
in the vehicle behind me.
With my father-in-law.
And I go, Scott, I've struck a deer.
And I instantly said, "What?"
I said,
Never even heard a broadhead.
I've struck a deer
I went, "Okay, where are you?"
in the middle of the road.
And I
Parked sideways.
Yeah, and I went, "Oh shit, right there."
Yeah, right there.
So
Got him.
with my father-in-law, who is a great man.
Freshly married at that point,
yes.
too, eh?
Oh, my-
Yes,
Yeah, like
I
a couple years in,
couldn't
maybe.
believe it. He's
Not
like,
even, was
I-
it, was
I
it a year or
lo-
2 years?
first year
First year.
hunting with me, really, really getting into the essence of what I am.
This is the
Okay.
this is the year that Scott Wilson was gonna say, "I'm getting mad into deer hunting. This is it."
This is it
Yeah,
right here.
yeah.
That's
We're
the
gonna
mistake
go on
I-
an island that's got deer.
Yeah, we're
They
we're
can't leave me now.
yeah, we're second year in.
Middle of the ocean.
I'm doing my shit. Like, this is my gig right here.
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Got it figured out.
I've got it. We're dialed in.
Fuck it.
This is automatic. I've got my father-in-law as an extra tag. Okay.
Explain to me what an extra tag is, please, Scott.
Bob,
Is
Bob is a great man.
Okay. But
Okay.
how is there an extra tag?
No,
is that
Bob-
like an extra cigarette in a pack?
Bob
Yes.
shot his own deer.
Bob shot his own deer. Bob is his own animal.
Rather
Okay.
than just me and Scott shooting deer and
Yeah.
then being done quick,
I
Bob
mean,
likes to hunt. So
Bob
Stay a little
came.
longer.
Bob Brewer came. No, I can't fucking do that stuff anymore. Oh, that's the Disaronno.
It's not that bad. It's only 25% alcohol.
So I call Scott.
Yeah, Bob is here. He wants to. He just wants to participate. He's 80 years old. He wants to be the camp. He just wants to be involved. Okay, he's going to be all of us in 40 years.
Yeah,
I hope.
Me about 20.
Yeah, you about 20. Fair enough. But I hope that at some point in time, we're the guy that's just coming along.
Yep.
Okay? That's what I loathe for. So here's Bob, and listen, I couldn't be happier to have this man with me.
Yeah, so he's riding in the passenger seat.
He's riding in the passenger seat first day.
Doesn't know what to
Doesn't
expect.
know you.
Doesn't know me.
From a shit in the hole in the ground.
And probably thinks after I go to bed, I'm like, this guy thinks I'm fucking crazy. He does. As soon as I show up there, he's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Absolutely. He's already wondering who the fuck I am.
Right? So, and I'm talking all about, hit a deer, whatever. And then I get 2 clicks down the road. I've hit a deer.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I've struck a deer.
My Bluetooth lights up. Scott, I've struck a deer.
So that was what happened. I struck a deer.
Yeah.
Right, first thing.
And
Bang.
I pull over on the side of the road. I'm like, where? And he's like, right there. Okay, so I pull over. And if you've ever been to this location that we're talking about, there's no shoulders. It's like 6-foot ditch. You pull over and there you are.
On an island.
On an island.
In the ocean.
In the ocean. Here we are.
Full of deer.
I've struck a deer. On the way to the stand, we're hammering down,
I'm hammering down.
Yeah.
You sure you're not in
Here
Sussex?
I am, my 1985 New Brunswick deer camp. I've got my father-in-law, I've got my brother. We're gonna shoot. We're gonna have a 1985 deer camp. And I pull over on the side of the road, and Bob, who is a very,
Calm, quiet. He's about like Hanson, an older age.
Yeah, he's a very well-fit, athletic, older gentleman. He's 80 years old. Okay, he's very fit. I pulled over. I was like, "Oh shit." Okay, this is what it is to me. Okay, you make a call to a brother, the people I'm looking at here in this room, and the brothers rise, and there's a situation.
Usually don't make the phone call.
Who do we got to beat up?
We all come together, and the situation is dealt with.
I'm okay.
Yes,
But I've literally struck a deer.
I've struck a deer. So
Not kidding. What I wanted to do
was
I have
strike
done
a deer on the way to camp. Yeah, on the way to camp. So we've made it through the journey to the camp, and we're at the next morning, and we've struck a deer. So I get out of the truck, and here's this deer. Yeah, success has been had by my brother.
Hey,
My literal brother, my biological brother.
start the fucking boat, boys.
Start the boat. I'm going home. I'm going to fucking shoot the shit out of waterfowl.
I'm gonna load this deer on the hood of this fucking car. And I'm driving off this island.
I have
fucking
succeeded. Yeah.
You definitely pulled in
The culmination of Matthew's experience, my brother, my
That was a
literal
good deer
brother,
experience.
yeah, my biological brother has been had.
Yeah.
Matthew, how long have you ever
5
sat
in
in
the
a deer
morning.
stand? 3.5 minutes total?
Yeah. He has blown his wad. Here we
He
are.
walks into deer stands and shoots them.
So I get out.
Every time.
Bob gets out, and here's this deer. And the front end of this bastard just broke off. He is a grasshopper in the middle of the road. And when I say grasshopper, I mean a
62-pound deer in Grambling.
100-pound deer in Grambling with the front legs broke off it, grasshopping, and I'm like, holy. and I'm like, Matthew's running across the road. He's parked. His hood's dented.
He patterned hell though.
I'm here with Bob. I'm like, whoa, shit, he's not used to this. And we've got 100-pound doe grasshoppering in the road.
Nailed it.
Okay. Fred Ann's gone. Matthew's cleaned this deer.
And Matt's celebrating. I got him.
Okay.
Matt's already tagged that.
He is fucking champion. He is the WWF belt is high in the sky.
Pretty sure my thoughts were,
I have succeeded.
what do we do?
Yeah, can we hunt riders or
What-
scoters right now?
What happens now?
Yeah. And so I get it on the truck.
3 boats running or
I'm
2 boats running?
26 years old. Okay.
That was a long
25,
time ago.
24, somewhere in that range, and I'm looking at this deer, and it's laying in the yard. In the yard. It is laying on the middle of the main drag.
It was right in front of the truck.
Where's the other half?
Main drag. It's all hooked up. It's laying in the main drag, and it's going.
Flockman like a flounder.
Yeah, and it made one grasshopper attempt, and it goes.
That's the girl.
You know that's not humane, right?
Death cries.
Like that, and I went, oh, shit.
And me and Bob are both standing back looking, going,
And Bob looks at,
what
Come
do we
on,
do
Scott.
now?
He's
You're the
like
deer hunter.
there.
What do we do?
What's that in the trunk? Third cell caller. Good.
so I did the stereotypical redneck stutter step, and I kicked this son of a whore in the head.
You have crazy.
I up and boot it with my snowshoe size 14. I boot it, and I grab my swing blade, and I saw. I go at it, and I cut it. You know, I go at it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's how I know that you were probably should be involved in Jeffrey Dahmer's new documentary.
Yeah, no.
You sure you're not a serial killer?
Yeah.
Not yet,
no,
but he's getting there.
fully. I feel like I have
How many
done,
squirrels did you carry bury when you were a kid? Because Hanson used to float them down the river
So
with a.
Where did
Viking.
Hanson go?
So-
I don't know. I can't find him.
so
But
Tiny's on
He's
here.
at Viking funerals.
That's his deal.
He's hanging out with your wife.
Yeah. Tiny's
Not
on
my
here.
wife.
He buried the hookers.
Where?
I don't know. That's Tiny. So I get out.
Tiny and hookers.
I stutter step this deer because it's there. I kick it in the head. I go at it with my swing blade.
Yeah.
You know, a 4 or 6 inch blade.
Yeah, he flipped up the right side.
And I was like, whoa, shit.
blood
there-
from, you didn't even have to wipe the blood in your face. It was already on it.
There's
Oh, fuck.
there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, you're
But I've
demented.
done this because I've accomplished an achievement for my brother. He's here. This is what he wanted to do.
Finish
I've done
the
it.
job.
He didn't want to do that. He wanted to hit it with a car.
He
I
did.
did.
He
I
did
know.
hit
Well,
it
actually,
with
never
a car.
mind. Congratulations. Greatest trophy you've ever had.
He hit it with his car. I could show you the set of hotels it was in front of.
I already know. I've been to Grand Man. There's
So
there's 2 hotels.
I
in
did
Grand Man.
this, and I was like, "Oh my god,
You hit it right off the boat?
there's something wrong with me." And
You
I hear
actually, like, legit hit it right off the boat.
I hear Bob in the background, and he goes, "Oh God, there's something wrong with you."
I could have told that one before you met him.
Why did I let you take my daughter in marriage?
Yeah, there is.
Actually, she
Shit.
picked him. I'm pretty sure.
And Matthew's there, and this doe somehow goes into the ditch, and I was like, "Oh
Good
my!"
job.
I was like, "Oh my God,
Let her go.
what have I done?" My father-in-law's here yelling at me. My brother-in-law, my brother in different forms and languages is like, "Hell yeah, man." Hell yeah.
This is also
I was like,
Matt's
I was like-
largest animal he's ever shot.
I was like,
The
this,
22-pound Canada Goose is like half that size.
I was like, this fucking deer's in the bag.
Hell yeah, I've done it. I've done it.
I'm like, look, it's not going anywhere. We got him.
Didn't even lose a new Rage Broadhead. Eh?
No, we got it. We got it.
I double
and I've cut this
double
deer,
legged him.
like
Hey, boys. Hey.
Really, really quickly. Oh, it's gonna
Every time I go hunting, I've got a plan. Okay? I've got a fucking plan.
Yeah, there's
People
a
might
plan.
look at me and they might say, "You're fucking crazy. You can't get them like that." Hey,
Actually, no.
I said I
they
wanted
don't
to
call
hit a
you
deer
crazy.
with the car.
They just ask
I
what you
fucking
got
hit a
out
deer
of
with the
your.
car.
They don't actually think you're crazy. They
Have a
ask you
plan.
how you get out of your
execute the
white
plan.
Yeah.
All right.
behind your back with
Go
four
ahead.
straps.
Tell your story. Yeah,
So
sorry.
let's-
it's legitimate, and so I cut this deer's throat. I cut this deer's throat. I kicked it in the head. I picked its head
did
up.
my hands
I
were
slit its throat, and it went. And my father-in-law, I got you. So he's screaming at me. His words, which I will never forget, are, "Oh my God." Okay? And the deer runs off in the woods, and off we go. We just part like particular mafia fashion. Okay? Everybody just goes their
In the
direction.
ditch?
And I'm sitting in the stand, and I think I didn't even have a cell phone. And I'm texting Matthew.
God, you got a cell phone 6 years ago.
No, I didn't. I
You
didn't.
used my cell phone.
No, I had Robin's. And I'm texting Matthew, and
Prime
there's
example.
there's
It's over
probably a
6 years ago.
conversation of
think I heard
some
his-
random sort, and I'm like, holy shit, man. This deer's running the woods. You and Bob go back. So sorry, to back up. I'm standing there in the middle of the road. I've slit this deer's throat. It's gone down into the alders. I'm standing there. Bob's like, you're there's something wrong with you. Matthew's like, I've succeeded. I have championed all that there is to know about whitetail deer hunting. And I'm standing there like, holy shit, there really is something wrong with me. And we look over, and there's a guy standing on the steps of a mini home in the corner. And I was like, oh, shoot. There's somebody that's heard this. There's somebody that's seen this. He's right there, and I'm looking at Matthew, and he's like, yeah, like that. And I raise my hand and salute. A typical, stereotypical mafia salute. And it's a firm, steadfast raise of hand. I still do it today. And Buddy solemnly, with no expression, on the doorstep of his house at 5 a.m. in the morning, with his porch light on, saluted me in return, opened his door, and returned to his household.
You know what he thought? Them fucking boys got shit under control. They killed another one of the deer. It's good enough. Hey, boy, you good? It obviously looks like you got it.
You good? Everything's okay? I went like this.
Yeah.
He saluted back, and we went about our business.
All is well here.
All is
All
well
is
here.
well here.
And that was the conclusion of mine and yours second hunt.
That was a
for
good
whitetail
time.
deer.
I hijacked your story, boys. Tell some good stories about this fall. Whoever wants to go first.
All right.
Yeah.
Jay, you want to go first?
This is
Yeah,
Jason and Scott's deer hunting 2022, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. We're at 2 hours and 34 minutes, not counting intermissions.
Yeah, I'm gonna back out here.
All right, boys. Tell us about your season. You guys are obviously the most avid deer hunters out of us all. So
Listen, Jay, deer hunting is sacred to us.
it is. It's your
It's
life.
sacred. It's precious. I mean, I consider you a fisherman, but to me, you're a deer hunter. Yeah. You're a solemn deer hunter. Whoa. I'm gonna let you go because I've been participating in drink and whatever here for a long time.
Time for you to talk, Jay.
It's time for you to talk, and I appreciate your companionship. I appreciate everybody who's been here tonight. I mean, the brotherhood that's here is specifically special to me.
Yeah, it's good.
Hanson, Wesley, I mean, Benson. You and I have had exceptionally elevated, hunts. Oh, yeah. Be it what it is, how we've met that way, the things that we've done, the unique styles that we share. I don't compare myself to you. You're at a different level to me.
I wouldn't say that.
We share the woods in an exceptional manner that coincides, that makes it successful.
Yeah, we understand where we need to be and where the other guy needs to be.
Yeah,
and where you need to be to push the deer to him.
Yeah,
and it works.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that sits at this table and hunts. I especially appreciate Jason McLean. So I'm gonna leave it to you, man. I'm gonna let you tell some stories. I'll interject here and there, but you go ahead, man.
I guess we can start with that. I guess we this fall was kind of a funny fall. Neither one of us really had any good deer that we really wanted to go after that really excited us. So we kind of almost a little bit winged it throughout the season and had some opportunities, seen some deer. Had some good encounters, really. I think I've probably seen a dozen bucks.
Absolutely.
Bucks
you see far more deer than I do.
And had opportunity.
Yeah.
We just didn't really see anything that we were excited about. But
it doesn't. The thing about it is it never tripped you.
Nope, we didn't. I didn't really see a deer that really got excited. I walked up on 2 bucks bedded. Tracked right to them and walked up on them bedded, and that's kind of just it. Thing. So I just, they didn't really spark my interest to take that deer, so we didn't. Anyway, so the day that Scott and I both got our deer was kind of a unique day. I'd pretty well pre-scouted this spot a couple different times, walked a lot of it. I put on 15 kilometers the day before that and seen a dozen deer, a couple bucks, and just nothing really big that I really wanted to harvest at that point in time.
Nothing tripped you?
No, and I said, let's. We talked the night before, so maybe we should go back down in there. And we decided we'd go back down in and hunt that particular area, and we hashed over what we were going to do the night before, and we decided let's go for it. So, and you know how some things, when some things happen for reasons, and you wonder why they happen.
Absolutely.
Well, that day was all of that. That was completely reasons for the whole. There was just a fluky sort of.
Every bit of that day was meant to be.
Yeah, one of them days anyway. And like you were gonna said you're gonna be there at 7:00 in the morning. A little bit late. I texted him. I said, "Geez, where's Scott?" I said, "Usually he's right here."
Never.
He wasn't.
So to interject here, I'm never late. If I say I'm gonna be somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's for a basketball game. It doesn't matter what it's for, hunting, whatever. I'm going to be there 15 minutes early. And so this morning I was specifically dragging. I knew it. I can't explain it. But I was late.
Yeah.
I was late. I was rushing. I read the text message from Jason. I said, oh, shit. I'm late. Yeah. And I showed up there, and, Jason never gets excited. He doesn't get mad. He doesn't. He just goes with the flow. And I'm kind of the opposite of that. So, had it been me in the position that I was waiting for Jason, I don't know how I reacted, but I was legitimately 30 minutes late. And when I say 30 minutes late, I mean I showed up in his dooryard 30 minutes with every piece of gear that I own jammed in a truck, hungover, disheveled. It was kind of a shit show. Whether he knew it at the time, I knew it. Okay, I knew it as a whitetail hunter. I knew where I had been the night before. I knew what was going on the next morning, and he accepted it. And we went to an area that we were both familiar with. I knew it quite well. He had scouted it. We had preconceived knowledge of the area, and it just the way it flowed from my piece to his piece was kind of kind of weird, and
it was.
Yeah,
The fact that we drove in that particular spot and there were deer in the little field that we drove into at that point in time. If we'd been there 5 minutes later, 5 minutes earlier, those deer would have moved off. We wouldn't have seen them.
Yeah, I mean,
why we were there at that point in time in the morning? It's just kind of puzzling, and like it was meant to be.
Just because it was meant to be.
Someone was a drunk ass.
From all reasonable perspectives, from a deer hunter, from my perspective, like I'm in the stand, half hour minimum before daylight. We were like an hour and a half after daylight. We had rolled around, Jason's farm, areas I've never been. He had been up. It was obvious to me. I felt like an asshole. We rolled down into this country. I'm looking out the passenger side window. He's looking out the driver's side window, and he says, "There's deer." I instantly look over, and I don't have great eyes, but I instantly look over, and I said, "That's a buck." And he's got binoculars up. I got the binoculars. I'm digging around, fumbling through my shit because I'm where I'm at. He's crisp. I'm in another area.
Half burnt.
Yeah. And it wasn't where he was at. Just it's how the season goes. And I can instantly tell just body stature. I can see it to this day. I look out the window. I know that's a buck. I know it's a buck I'd shoot. He gets out the binoculars. He's standing on his step. He's standing on his truck looking at this deer. I fumble around. It's probably 2 minutes. I get my binoculars out. I was like, "Shit, Jay. That's a good buck." Like I can see rack. I'm in now. I'm invested. I'm in some form of hunting fashion. And I said to him, that's a good buck. Like that's a mature deer. He's got what, 3 does?
Yeah, there's 4 there.
4?
Yeah.
4 does. He's herded up 4 does. And I'm like, holy frig, this is the best buck I've seen this year. And at some point in time, there's a weird conversation going on.
Yeah, you said you should shoot that buck. This is your spot.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't really want to shoot that buck. I said, we got lots of meat in the freezer. Why don't you shoot that buck? Well, this is your spot. Well, no, this freaking deer is in the field looking at it the whole time, man. Like,
wondering what the hell are these guys doing over there? Like, come on.
I would have already shot the buck.
Bullets would have been flying. There would have been no.
One of those deer would have been.
It'd have been. You go up.
Where I come from,
Jeez,
there's no waiting around. It's you're fighting your buddy to get the gun loaded after you're out of the vehicle and start pulling and firing lead across that field.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
So same place I come from, right?
Yeah.
You see a deer with horns, you dump it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. This is 100% legitimate conversation we have.
It was so relaxed. Like it's no. They just you can shoot that if you want. Go ahead.
No, you shoot it. No, you shoot it. I'm telling you, you shoot it. No.
Yeah. On the way there, like honestly, I know that I don't have my shit together. Okay? I'm coming off a night. I'm coming out of a meeting.
Your shit's been left behind at the bar.
My shit's been left behind. I'm fucking late.
Foggy.
I feel like an asshole. Okay? I'm up. Jason McLean has texted me. I'm like, yes, man. I'm coming. I'm on my way.
All fucked up, but I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm coming.
It's almost lunchtime
I'm
by
working
now.
with you. I know where you're at. I'm not there. I'm kind of done with this season. And here we are. So I'm sitting in this truck and I'm feeling, keep in mind, I owned a house like very few kilometers away from this. I've known this country. I've walked this country. I've been in this country. I cut my teeth in this country. And here we are. And I'm lagging bad. I'm like, Jay, that's your deer. Like, you've hunted, you've seen 4 or 5 deer. Like, this is your deer. And I'm legitimately dressed like I am tonight. I am not in any shape to hunt. I'm not able to hunt, but I'm just not in it. I haven't been in it all season. It's been an off season for me. Here I am, the last weekend of our season.
Last Friday.
The last weekend. We got 3 days left. I've seen deer, I've passed deer, it's just been an off season, okay? And I'm just out to enjoy this event with my buddy. And so we look at this deer. I can instantly tell it's a buck. I know he knows it's a buck.
Yes, because he's got eagle eyes.
He has got eagle eyes.
Best vision of anyone I've ever known.
Of anyone. Okay? Yeah. I know instantly it's a buck. So I know he knows it's a buck.
He knows how many points it's got.
He's fucking studying. Okay? He's looking into the intricacies of this deer. And I'm like, Jesus, man. I can see horns on this from 350 yards away. This is a deer. You should shoot that. This is your deer. He says, no, it's not my deer. This is your deer. I said, okay. What are we going to do? I'm already on my phone. We've got the Hunt Stand app. I'm into the Hunt Stand app. And I'm already looking at it because I've decided that this is a good deer. This is a 2.5, 3.5 year old. This is a rack deer. This ain't no spike horn, okay? I'm committed. One way or another, somebody here is gonna pull the trigger on a buck. So I'm on my Hunt Stand app. I've looked at it, I've glanced at it. He's confirmed that it's a buck. I'm done. I'm out. I'm on my fucking phone. I'm in now. I'm out of my hangover. I'm committed. And I was like, shit. Okay, there's one place that we got a chance to get this deer. It's down the road 100 yards. It's down in here. They're going to come up through here. He's still studying it. Because there's something funny about this deer. Okay? He looks like he's got shit going on. Okay? And Jason looks at me. He said, no. It's not my deer. That's your deer. Okay. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm here. This is the event that's happening. I'm going to take it as it comes to me. And I get my shit together. So we're in his truck. This is a New Brunswick deer. We've seen it. There's 5 deer in the field. We're in an area that I come from that I know is a highly poached area. I get out of the truck and I start putting a jacket on. I'm getting the orange on. I'm putting my hat on. And I'm looking at him and fucking putting my shit on. I'm putting bullets in my pocket and he's talking to me. And I'm hearing him. And I'm putting stuff and I'm getting my fucking gun out. I'm getting my clip out. And I'm loading my gun and I'm looking at him. And I'm hearing everything that you're saying to me. And I go, okay. So here's our plan. We got a fucking window. This deer can go 360 degrees any other way it can go. Except this way. Okay? Any other way. It can do any other thing than what I've looked at. We've devised a plan. And I start heading down the road. And Jason says to me, you should put some clothes on. Because this might be a while. And I went, yeah, fuck that. And I put the medium amount of stuff on because I'm rushing. Because I don't see a lot of deer. I don't have a lot of time. And off the road I go, and I'm walking down the fucking road with my 270, and I'm slinging it, and I'm hucking it, and I'm saying to myself, how am I gonna fuck this up?
He was too.
How am I gonna fuck this up? I've got a beautiful buck in front of me. You know, he's a 2.5, 3.5. He is a beautiful buck. God has granted me
last weekend of the season.
Last weekend of the season. You know, I've passed deer. I've seen deer. I haven't put the usual effort that I usually do in. And I am literally walking down the road and I'm going, how am I going to fuck this up? And I'm chucking down the road here. And I fucking chuck down the road and I get to this cut to the plan. I bolt down through the cut and I'm trying to sneak and listen, boys. I'm 6'5". I wear a size snowshoe. Okay? Like, I'm 230 pounds. There ain't much sneaking through the woods that I can do. Okay? And I'm trying to sneak through this cut. There's snow on. I can't see through this cut. And I'm trying to poke, and I get to this deadfall. I get here, and I'm like, this is the best I can do. I get there. I check my phone. Jason said they've moved my way. I'm heading down in. I said, okay, I'm going to move. What the fuck is that instinct? Okay? I'm in a 4-acre cut. 3-acre cut, 2-acre cut. Yeah. There is a 10 meter buffer zone between this field where we've seen the deer, this buck with 4 does, and the possible location that he's going to come up. And I said, all right, I'm going to move. And I moved down, and I get down to where I'm at the buffer zone, like, you're kind of at a point where,
I remember Hanson's 14 before he's back.
You're kind of like, what are you doing? You're down in here. You're kind of at what the point of what you're doing. I'm not 100% sure what he's doing, and all of a sudden, I've got a loaded rifle.
He wasn't in the back of the truck when I was there.
I've got orange on. I've got a hat on. And doe busts towards me. And I'm within 10 yards of where I think these deer are going to come through. And shit comes alive. I've got a gun. A doe comes at me. I see her. She's like 15 yards away. And I went, okay. Automatically, safety comes off, gun comes up the shoulder, buck comes through the woods behind her. He looks like he is sporting 36 inches of rack. I'm not kidding you. He is.
Was there an apple tree close?
Buckmaster's material, like magazine. I looked at him square in the eye. I looked at the doe. The doe saw me. I saw her. She was gone. I watched. Gun shoulder. I'm on. Scope on 3 power. Safety off. I'm there. Buck comes at me. I looked him eye in the eye. I watched him. And I said, which way are you going to go? You're going to go left? You're going to go right?
You ask yourself.
Yeah. And I said,
he's not going to tell you the truth.
I'm going to wait for you. For whatever reason. He went the same way as the doe. Slower. He stopped right up. I could have shot him right in the face. Gun was right there. Shouldered. Both eyes open. He stopped. He skidded. I watched him skid. Boys, he looked like he was 36 inches wide to me. Horn size doesn't matter to me, but I just had that.
Just as good.
Yeah, he just had that picture. He skidded. He stopped. I went, which way? What are you doing? What are you doing? He went the same way as the doe. I tripped it. I was like, oh my God. As soon as I tripped it, he didn't drop. Racked another one. I knew I had hit him. Yeah. Instantly knew I'd hit him. He went away from me. He went back towards the field. I'd had another one in him. It was racked. I was already looking at what I had missed. Okay? Because this is my mentality. I'd had that going down the road.
How can I fuck this up?
How can I fuck this up?
Yeah, how many deer have you actually had to track? Everything dies in the steps when you shoot.
Exactly.
I know this for a fact because it doesn't happen to him.
I watched this deer, 15 yards away. I've tripped this 270 Winchester on it, and it's turned and gone. And I was like, oh my God, fuck, I gotta get another one in on him. And he's running through the woods, and I tripped another one at him, and I was like, wow. I have just completely done the ultimate. I've showed up late.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. I have showed up late. I have condemned my brother of a hunt. I have missed a beautiful buck. And I was like, wow, you did it.
You done fucked it.
You actually just pulled a Benny. Is what we call that.
And
I don't leave the camp. Who am I kidding?
And for whatever reason, I like to record that shit because I like to relive my failures. so that I can relive them and learn from them. And I recorded it. I pulled my iPhone up and I was like, holy shit.
What'd you say? You know how to run the camera on a cell phone?
Yeah.
You just got one 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm colorblind. I'm not the sharpest of being able to see. And I start walking
actually, on
out.
our way here tonight, you didn't see a deer in the middle of the road.
No.
It's actually not a deer, but I won't say what it was.
I didn't see a person in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it was a human.
Yeah,
directly in the center line.
Humans shouldn't be in the middle of the road.
Thank God I wasn't driving. And
I
so,
thank God you're not driving every time you're
Scott, what happened here? Like, did you see the deer run away? Like, still run across the field, and it was still kept going?
Shot twice at it in the woods. Okay, he's in this buffer strip.
So he's in the woods now.
He's, last time I see him, I've cranked the second bullet at him because that's who I am.
Yeah,
I'm gonna empty a gun.
You were confused though when it didn't die when you shot, right?
I'm
How many times have you actually actually track a deer?
Never.
Yeah, no, that's confusing. The rest of the world does that,
without
Scott.
my man here.
And how many times have you never unloaded a gun? Never.
Very few. Until recently. Yeah. And so
he'd be the greatest conservation snow goose hunter ever in South Dakota. Because I guarantee that 20 shots is going off.
Yeah. And so, I've shot twice. I've already had the self-doubt in myself, and I've just shot a deer with a high-powered rifle at 15-20 yards, right?
Yeah, it was close.
You know what?
15-20 yards. And was like, oh my God, that should have dropped. And keep in mind, I've shot, I've been hunting solely with a bow for multiple years. Like, that's my choice of weapon.
Why?
I pull my phone out for whatever reason. I'm going to record this to have the pain. So I can,
shove that dagger in there a little bit more.
You fully enjoy self-loathing. Is what I just
for
heard.
years on
Just
end.
torture yourself.
Torture myself because that's what deer hunting is.
I might as well just quit at that point.
I run out in the, I'm tracking. I don't see blood. There's obviously blood and hair there because Jason can see it.
Yeah,
Scott, I've seen you not see blood on the snow before.
Oh, you're out in the other side watching.
On the other side of the field watching this deer as he shot it. It was anchored good because he was doing the tail flick going across the field, holding one leg half up, ears pinned back, tail.
And you weren't firing bullets.
So there's the proof right there. Jason's actually shot
200 yards at me.
I got hit in the lungs
and
ran away.
200 to you, yeah.
And then he found it.
Yeah.
Scott always shoots them where they fall. I don't understand.
So I mean, I've got it on video. We can put the video on this podcast, but I recorded it. I don't see blood because I'm colorblind. I expect to see paintbrushes of blood on the snow. I go out into I hit the edge of this field, and I can instantly see the deer. Yeah. That to me is pure excitement.
Oh yeah,
that was a good video.
But you didn't pull the Hanson and walk up to it and let it run away.
I have done what I've come to do, and
gotta love it when a plan comes together.
And rolled out, and to be honest, smoked the deer the first shot. I don't know how I hit it or what I hit. It was dead running, because the second shot one of its antlers off.
What? Come again? Hey, time out. It's not on its head anymore?
No.
So you're saying
so
that...
you got... Wait a minute. How big is this deer? So it's a 4-point, not on an 8-point.
It's
done.
An 8-point that I shot the fucking G2 off. Like, it was...
So you're the second hunter I've heard this fall that shot the antler off a deer. I was just showing some boys some pictures of the boys down home that same thing. They went out, shot this monster buck, like major mass, not points, but major mass and spread.
You weren't close. To the gauge town there, yeah.
No, not at all. But it shot it right off its head, literally right at where it's embedded into the head, right? Like, I mean, like, I'll show you some pictures. It's like below the skin level in the skull. And it knocked this thing over, and it was like upside down, kicking its legs, and he's like, yes. Walked up, and it ran away.
Oh, I got one for you on that one.
It's on the cameras now. The boys have it on the cameras last week, so
I
it's
loaded
alive
one of those on a
and
bed of a truck one time, and they stood up on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
I killed it when it jumped off the truck.
So that's the second one. I shot the horns off.
Yes. Might as well go for the third, bud.
Yeah.
What time of day
so I tried.
are they hunting at? I'd like to know what
I killed
the
this
hour
deer,
is.
and now I'm like, holy shit. I've landed here.
You were excited, like on that video you sent. You were wound up.
Yeah, you know.
Scott has shot a lot of deer. He's always wound up.
It's a pure emotion. I've shot. Listen, boys.
You drug a deer at 4 miles in the woods, wouldn't call anybody.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't go back and find
He's
it.
He's 6'4", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Legit. We're all at the hunting.
I've shot.
Scott shot someone 4 miles in the woods. Doesn't tell anybody. Comes back, can't find it.
Yeah. I've drugged like 50 deer out of the woods. Doesn't matter to me if it's a spike horn. Doesn't matter to me if it's a 180-inch deer. It fires me up. Doesn't matter if you shoot it. No. Doesn't matter if you shoot it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I fires me
I'm
up.
147 pounds. Normally, I'm 180 because I'm fat. I drug a 360-pound deer 80 feet this year.
It fires me up like
I don't have any muscle.
Nobody's, you can't explain it.
You carry one off your back, like over your shoulders, man.
It's not normal. I've done it. I've accomplished it. I was like, oh my God, I did it. It's just like the first deer.
I think Jay would be the opposite of that. I think Jay's calm, cool, and collected, but he does that.
So
you get fired up into heaven? Yeah. Really? Because you're like, to me, you're the only person I remember in my life catch a 20-pound trout and go, yeah, that's a good one.
No, he gets fired up. He just inside.
It's different. You get fired up. I can see you shaking like a dog shaking a razor blades.
Oh yeah. So
I've watched it happen.
I've shot this deer. I've run out. I've showed you guys the video. I shared it with you because that's my Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. Jason's come around. It's all legal.
I tried to wake him
I'm
up.
like, hey man.
He was not in that truck when I was out there.
My fucking wallet's in the car. My wallet's in the car.
Where the tag?
I was like, I don't have my tag. That's me. Here I am. I'm prepared again. So I call Robin. She's a good girl. Instantly says, I'll be right there. And we just relax.
Yeah. We just left the deer, back truck.
So we walk back up 100 yards. I'm up here. I'm embarrassed because I'm late. I don't have my shit together, and we walk back up. We sit on the tailgate of his truck. He finds 2 rattlers. We have a couple of rattlers. We fucking sit and laugh and talk. Yeah. I'm in a spot that I know so well, like so well. Cut my teeth deer hunting. Like I'm so close to where I know. And it was just so relaxed.
Just went out one day and shot a big fucking buck.
Just went out one day and shot a nice deer. And Robin texted me. We've had a sandwich. We've had a couple drinks. We've gone down. We've drugged this deer up. We've got it at Robin texts. We drive out to the end of the road. We meet Robin. She hugs us both. We celebrate. Wyatt's there. And I tag my deer. And it's like, well, what are you going to do now? And Jason says,
let's go to Nova Scotia.
Jason says, I think there's a bigger deer here.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking look at him and I went, okay.
Not going to argue with that guy.
No, I'm not skeptical. I'm like, I'm here. I'm here for the day.
Yeah.
We have been led to this point. What do you want to do?
Because you're here for it.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here now.
I'm committed. We've been led to this point. And I said, okay. What do you want to do? What do you need from me?
Jump to the stage.
I am here. Use me as your tool. I will do whatever. And so Jason says, well, let's go out the rest of this. We'll go across the road. We'll check this out. And I'm like, you gotta picture me. I've just done, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. I've just harvested a legal deer with one of my peers. Okay. I'm in for anything. If you said we were going to take over the United States, I'd be with you. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I'm in.
So what'd that look like from your side, Jay? Like after he shot that deer, now what's your plan?
Well,
why do you think there's a bigger deer there?
Well, because I knew there was from the sign that I had seen the day before tracking, I knew there was more than one buck there because I was crossing buck tracks steady.
So New Brunswick, usually in one little area, you're not going to have more than two or three deer.
No, this area seemed to hold a bunch of deer.
Anyway, what reason?
So you said there's more than one.
You instantly said to me, there's a bigger buck here.
So no broken time.
You said that to me, and I went,
yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we drove across the road.
Yep.
We literally drove across the road. So we're 100 yards from where I shot my deer with 4 does. Yeah. Okay.
The doe's still there?
I don't know. I don't know where the fuck the does are gone.
They disappeared, man.
Yeah.
They're gone.
I have just busted a nice buck. He's an 8-point.
Just let her
He's got shit going on. In another year he'd have 2 drop tines. Okay, I'm fucking ecstatic.
That's why I always tell you guys, you should have given him another year.
Yeah. Hey, I'm ecstatic. I've just busted a buck.
I give him an extra year later.
He's a nice 8-point buck. I've done it with my buddy.
I give him 20 years.
I don't care if he was a spike one.
So now
any deer's good.
You killed the deer.
We drug it out.
You drug it out. You got her tagged. Now Jason thinks there's a bigger deer.
Yeah.
So you decide that side of the road has been killed of all the deer, and now we're gonna go to this side of the road.
I'm thinking, hey, this side's been fucked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Jay goes,
I have just screwed this side of the road. Holy shit. Jason spent a couple days here circling around. We go across the road. We're driving and there's moderate sign at best.
Yep.
We turn around and we come back to where we are. Okay? Come back to where we've met Robin and Wyatt. We drive back up the cut road where we were heading to begin with. Okay? We never even got to where we were going. We've seen deer. We've shot said deer. Harvested deer.
That's usually how you shoot when you're driving.
Tagged it. It's on the back of Jason's blue Tundra. He said, we're going to put 2 deer on this Tundra today. I am.
Yes, sir.
You said that. I said,
called it.
I am fucking in. Like, I don't know if I said that out loud, but
let's get one more.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Stack him up like cordwood.
I'm in. What do you need me to do? So we go another 50 yards out this road where we've been. So we just stopped. We just made the stock. We've waited for my wife to drive 100 kilometers, okay, to bring me my fucking tag that I've left at home.
I thought you were.
Let things cool off a little.
Yeah, and we've had our break on the tailgate. We've gone across the road. We come back. We get to where we're going. We park the trucks in park, and we each have a sandwich.
Sandwich. What kind of sandwich did you have?
I had a beautiful bologna sandwich that my wife took
Mayo
the
and mustard.
took the time to cut a heart out of.
Oh my word!
A heart in the bologna sandwich.
And put it on the top, and you know it was just.
You don't deserve one like
what
that.
happened to the rest of the round part of the bologna?
She put it on the top.
Oh, okay.
No way.
Hey,
I ate the sandwich, and I had a coffee, and I'm up. Right, I'm here. I'm up here, and we devise a plan. Okay, we sit there, we look at this woods. Okay, keep in mind we're 100 yards from where I've just massacred a fucking beautiful buck that's herded up 4 does.
You're still fully torqued at that point.
Oh, I'm torqued, man. Like, beyond.
But we know that
you would definitely not walk around jogging.
Jason
we know there's one more. So Jason, what's the plan?
Jason said so.
Jason knows that there's another deer. He thinks there's another deer.
Did you see another deer on the game camera,
I'm
Jay?
not gonna lie to you.
I didn't have any pictures of any of these deer at all.
But
Nothing.
you just knew.
No.
Yeah.
You just felt like
we had snow on, right? So we tracked around, and I knew that there was a bunch of deer in the area.
Were you near Price's place?
So we went back.
I just have to know.
When we decided what we were gonna do, and I said, "Well, I'll take the right hand side of the road. You take the left hand side of the road."
No, I said, "Great."
And we hashed it over, and I thought, "You know what? I'm gonna take the left hand side of the road. You take the right hand side of the road."
We changed drivers.
So
the fucking deer.
We switched.
You threw them right off.
We had a sandwich. We had a sandwich.
They definitely were running away from Scott, but then Jay
like
switched sides.
Anyway, so we end up.
Switch hitter, eh?
I went into the left hand side, and I went down in and circled around where I thought there'd be deer.
And I go to the right.
Yep.
It's opposite. We've switched tracks that we were going to go on. We've eaten a sandwich. This has been 2.5 hours since I've shot my deer.
Yep.
Yeah, give me that.
It's still before dinner. Okay? And we go in.
Can you confirm what dinner is? Canada's
Lunch.
different than the United States of America.
Lunch.
Yeah.
So we go in. Jason goes to the left-hand side. He's going to check this hardwood ridge. Okay? I go up to the right. I cross this fucking cut like the dumb animal that I am. And I fucking cross it, and Jason's sneaking. Okay? He's fucking poking. And he's doing his thing. And I am too. I mean, in my own way. I'm doing my shit too. Jason's fucking, he's hunting. And I get to a point where this is a Friday. My Thursday night has caught up to me. I've had a bologna sandwich, 2 cups of coffee, and I stiffened straight up. Like
Fully erect.
Like the Church of Christ had come down on me. And I went, oh my God. And that's instantly what I said. I'm halfway through my walk. I've gone, oh my God. And I did everything I could. And it passed. And I went, and I started stripping shit off. And I peeled clothes off. And I threw my fucking gun. And I put stuff down.
You didn't have a gun.
And I dropped trowel.
Okay.
I dropped trowel because it was the only thing that I could do. Okay? Middle of the woods. Here I am.
That's not the only time you've had that happen.
No, it isn't. And it happens.
No, it doesn't to me. I drive around.
And I relieved myself to the point that I was like, holy...
What'd you say? How'd you relieve yourself?
I relieved it.
Okay.
The evil came out.
The demons are gone now.
And there was nothing left about me that was, to nature, that was not available for them to see.
And you were fucking naked walking down the road.
I was, man.
You pulled a Benny.
Like, it was all I could do.
You had boots on?
To get I had boots and pants, and that was it.
I don't wear those.
And I'm in,
I think you and I have been doing that recently.
Everybody here, probably except Jason, can, assimilate where I was at the time.
We had an idea.
Yeah. And then I went, What do I do now? Okay, because here I am.
What?
Okay.
Just shit my pants in Jason's deer hunting spot.
Was this Jason's deer hunting spot? Yours?
Jason's hunting, and here I am.
But
Freshly fertilized.
I have hit the wall. Okay.
You
I have done stuff.
Adrenaline has left your fucking body.
Does not belong in the toilet, and to the point that I had turned around and was fucking kicking snow.
But did you actually tear your sleeves off?
So
that's the second time you got to fight dirty asshole.
I'm not kidding you. To get myself to a point where I could relieve myself, I stripped everything I had off.
Which wasn't much by the sounds of it, because Jason told you to put more clothes on.
Which wasn't much, but it was all I had on.
Which, by the way,
that's strange.
He's actually done to me before, but I actually didn't have any fucking clothes on.
Actually, Matthew, the first time I ever actually went hunting with Matthew Wilson, he had no clothes on.
So, yeah.
There's a few pictures online about us. Really hot that day, goose hunting.
So I grabbed the most expendable thing I have, which is a Craig t-shirt from
Craig
6-7 years ago, and I start splitting the bastard. Okay, and I'm here to tell you, I thought this was going to be quick.
Spill it all. Have another drink.
I thought this was going to be a quick issue. Here we are. We're done.
Was it a
Bam.
blue one with the pocket on it?
It was
Take
like
the
a
pocket off
lag,
first.
quivering, no tree to hold on to.
Just hoping.
Oh my God, there's something wrong with me. Situation.
My real question is, did you poop on your own underwear?
No, I didn't. Because I don't
Solid, I always do.
Because I don't wear underwear. I already used them.
Good call it over socks, and I can't use those.
So I grabbed this Craig t-shirt and I start tearing at it with what's available, and that's my teeth. And I tear the sleeves off. I tear one set of sleeves off and I go at it. I tear the other set of sleeves off and I go at it. And I start tearing the shirt apart.
Yeah.
Okay?
There's no pocket on that shirt.
Send that around again.
I thought they always had a front pocket on them.
So where Jason? Just wait now.
Jason's hunting.
Where?
At this point in time,
tell me what's going on.
Is it
Jason?
possible you could have watched him do this, Jason?
Jason,
I was on the other side.
tell me what's going on.
The other side of the woods, circling towards him, because I bumped into another hunter, and I texted him. I said, "Hey, I'm heading your way.
I'm in mid-trial.
He's dragging.
I'm freaking heading towards him.
I didn't know you ran into another hunter.
I've seen another hunter where I'm going.
Oh, okay, you run into another guy. So you said, okay, well,
So I just
hey,
waved my hand, went the other way, right?
Yep. Hey,
Anyway,
okay, you got the spot. Hey,
Get the hell out of my
there's another example. Okay, this is
Oh,
twice
no, we're not doing that.
the last podcast and this one that Jason saw another hunter, and you didn't throw any punches.
Were you on public ground?
You didn't try to fight the guy. You just said, hey, enjoy your time. There's hundreds of acres of woods over here, but I'm going to go to this little spot that's only got like a half an acre, and I'm going to shoot a buck. But you go ahead and you hunt the rest of this ground. Hey.
I believe
he gave him the wave, and he said, you want that great big buck of woods? I'm just going to go over here closer to the truck and shoot a great big fucking buck. Hey, good to see you. Best of luck to you. Okay, go ahead, Jay.
Public or private ground?
Jason, go ahead, because we're going to run out of memory cards.
Yeah. So we circled back anyway, and I started heading towards Scott, and I picked up a track, and I thought, holy smokes, this track's right on my track from yesterday. And it would hit my track, and jump over my track from the day before. Like, wouldn't even, just very cagey. And I thought, ooh, we got a friggin' joker here. This is fun. This is those ones there. When I get excited over a joker, like a smart deer, they challenge me, and that's what I get excited over. Anyway, so I was heading towards Scott. Scott texts me, says, I just friggin' jumped a buck. A good buck. A white buck.
So
after he dropped his drawers.
Yeah, I'm done trial. I've cleaned myself up. I've resuited.
Yeah.
I get my phone out and I look, and Jason's updated me. I'm 15 minutes behind. I'm like, oh my God, here I am again. I'm fucking this up. I got to get moving. I said, okay, I'm going to check the backside of this, and I'm going to loop to you. Because I knew from 20 years ago.
You guys both know the ground.
I knew from 20 years ago there was tote road there. I checked the backside of this field because Jason had told me If you see a good deer that resembles that, shoot it. I check this back end of this field. You know, I'm a fucking big animal. Okay? I've murdered the woods. You know, I have just done the unspeakable in the woods. Okay? I've suited back up. I'm here. I'm trying to make this up for Jason.
You don't have a gun, Scott.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
No.
I don't.
No, you don't.
I don't. No,
We'll just cut that piece out.
But I'm legally allowed to.
Push it back to me.
All right.
Yeah, we can have any caliber now on a permit license.
At
Never
that
mind.
point, we could not.
You're out hunting coyotes.
Yeah.
No, the problem is Scott already shot a deer.
All right.
So you put
Let's let them finish the story, boys. We're gonna run out of memory card.
Okay, so I go into the backside of this field and I'm pushing. Okay, you got to understand. I'm I've been back assing this from the whole point. You know, I come in, I'm pushing down this tote road to this cot. I know Jason's coming up this way. You know, we're like a couple hundred yards. I stop because I want to check and see where this guy is. Because legitimately, I want to know where he is. He sent me a picture, and I want to know what's going on and where he is. So I stop. I start to dig my phone out. A doe bus. I'm like, oh my God. A doe bus. Instantly, you know, my phone's back in my pouch. I've got my gun ready.
Your binoculars came up.
My gun's ready. I don't have my binoculars on. My gun's up. And here comes another deer. And I was like, holy shit. And I pull my gun up and I look and I was like, I know that's a buck. I stop. I turn my scope up. I fucking look again. I'm like, oh shit, that's a good buck. Buck goes. Okay. Gun down. Phone up. Jason, I just bumped a nice deer. I think he's wide. He's a good buck. I'm standing there. There's a cow moose looking at me.
You don't have to tell me where you were. I know you were.
Hey. Didn't shoot one of those yet.
No, looking at me, and I'm trying to text my buddy and saying, "Hey, I just jumped two. They're going north. I know you're south. Here I am." So I'm standing there, and here I am. I might as well have had my cock in my hand, and my pants still down. And here I am. I've jumped a deer. I know it's a good buck. What I consider a good buck. It's a 2.5, 3.5-year-old deer. What I think it is doesn't matter. And I hear a deer blowing, and I'm like, "Holy shit! It's blowing. What the fuck's going on? Why is it blowing at me? Okay, it doesn't know what I am. I'll just stand here. Shit, I got nothing to prove. I'll just stand here." And so I just stand there. And then your story begins.
Yep. Anyway, when you text me that deer was coming, I had just come out of a cedar thicket that you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you.
No.
And the weirdest thing was, I come into this open hardwoods, and it was the only block of open hardwoods in that whole stretch of woods that I walked through. I walked into it, and then all of a sudden I heard a deer blow. He texted me and said, "There's a deer coming," and I heard a deer blow. I said, "Holy smokes, that deer's getting closer," because you hear the blowing. You know, it just kept on going closer and a little closer. I said, "Oh, it's coming right to me." Anyway, so I got behind this big spruce tree and waited. And just now, this deer come down through the woods bounding, and it stopped right in front of me. But it was all I could see was his rear end, and he was looking back towards Scott. See his rear end and his nose and the tips of his antlers. And I thought, that's a good buck. I'll shoot that buck. Anyway, but I didn't have a good shot on his vitals, so I left him. I waited, and there was only a hole about an 8x8 maybe hole that I could shoot through. When that deer, as soon as that deer started to move and that went brown, I squeezed the trigger. Anyway, I squeezed the trigger and just kapok. You know how it smucked right out. And that deer took off in front of me and crossed right in front of me. And I shot at it 2 more times, and the second shot I hit it the second time, and I missed the third time.
Did you get it the first time too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it piled up right in front of me, and I let the big war cry out. Of course,
Scott
was like, he was within 100 yards of me, and I didn't know. Anyway,
you know what? He probably felt better at the end of it because he heard the shot and then heard you roar cry than you did.
Anyway, we were wound up because that deer, where I'd shot that deer, both holes were at the bottom end of the brisket, and the first hole I'd shot and opened up
in front of the leg,
hit it in the heart.
Yes, sir.
And the second hole hit it in the lower brisket. Of course, it
was done.
So remember the actual first part of how that happened.
Yep.
Small hole through the trees. Experienced enough to know that when you saw brown and you had a clear shot through those trees, that's all you had to wait for. When it filled your scope, you pulled the trigger and shot the deer in the fucking heart.
Yeah.
And the first shot through a hole in the trees.
And not only through a hole in the trees. So there was 2 cedar trees.
You waited for that.
A foot apart with a deadfall across them. And the man had enough common sense when he heard the doe blow that he walked, I don't know, half a dozen steps sideways, got up against the spruce, leaned his gun against the tree, watched the deer bound to this point, and the it stopped, which they always do, in a spot where you can't shoot it. And I walked this back because I want to see it, because I want to live it, right? Because I lived it from a different angle.
So you walked out fully.
I walk it back and I look, and he shows me, and the deer was in a hole. He had enough patience that when he watched this deer, he's standing there. He could have shot it in the ass. Could have shot it. Yeah, he could have shot brown anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't know that when this deer left, it was going to jump over a deadfall. And the son of a bitch shot the deer.
Was it
jumping? And hit it in the heart.
I know a little bit of his growing up.
First shot, hit it in the heart, jumping.
That's what happens.
Jumping, going, running. Hit it the second shot. And third shot was just, I'm out. Fuck, was he still running? I'm out.
Man, that must have bled like crazy. Where
you know where they had his family camp, Scott. We went up there that year.
I videoed it because it was just unbelievable how far this deer ran, and I'm running, and there's part of me that's running, and he had texted me and said, "I seen somebody else. I'm swinging right."
Who the heck? There's a difference in patience right there. Who has the time to write you back after you shoot something?
Yeah, and I'm like, who shot? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm running. This cow moose is going to the left. I could have spanked it on the ass, and I'm going. And then I get to a point, like, I've heard 3 shots, and I stop. I come out into this open area, and I'm like, ah! Like that. And he's like, oh! And I'm like, around here. And here we've shot, a beautiful 10-point buck. Okay, this is a 3.5-year-old 10-point buck in the middle of the woods, and if I showed you the picture of where it was, you'd go, I can't believe you shot a deer there, let alone 2
back to back.
How
long was it? Like 3 hours?
4 hours.
That's
4 hours. Yep. In the most relaxed manner.
I've never seen Jay excited day in my life.
It was like we planned. Hey,
Jay planned this, Scott.
Hey, Jay, let's go shoot a deer.
Yep.
To stand here and be arrogant, we could.
You're not in Virginia or Texas at this point. You're in New Brunswick.
It's time to go shoot a deer, guys.
So now, like after you shot the 3 times. You obviously know now that you've killed the deer and it's over with. That you hit the deer in the heart the first time. But of course, the deer's still moving. You shoot at the deer. You shoot the 3rd time. Now what happens, Jason?
Well, it piled up right in front of me.
Oh, it did pile up right in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was right there.
Oh, yeah. As I was shooting at it, on the 2nd and 3rd shot, I could see that deer was starting to lower.
It was that close.
Oh, yeah. It was like 20 yards.
Oh, my soul.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, now the last buck that I shot with a gun was that close.
Yeah. It was exciting because just the fact that deer was that close.
The last deer I shot with a gun was 6 yards.
It was 3 shots. I heard the war hoop. I knew that it was Jason. Like I knew it was him, but in the back of my head when I'm running, I'm like,
was it him?
what's going on? What did we just do? We had like a premonition. 3 days before the
plan
season
came together.
We finally, as a pair come together and we decided to go shoot deer. And two good deer.
Listen, if I'm in New Brunswick and I want to shoot deer for like 4 days, I'm here. I'm gonna call both you. I'm gonna figure it out. One of you will kill me one, or I will get one killed.
That was a good story.
The way it worked out, we put 2 deer in the back of the truck at the end of the day.
Yep, so. You did her.
But did you drive through Tim Owens drive-through?
No, we didn't.
Well, you screwed that up.
We talked about it.
You should have put one in the front.
So that's not the end of your hunting season.
The most relaxed deer hunt I have ever been on in my life.
And but you know what? The fact that the Tuias went out and shot, and I mean, you hunted. You saw. I'm sure you saw other deer. Throughout the season.
You picked your deer.
But I mean, the fact that you both went out and did that, like just bang bang within basically a morning or an afternoon.
It's more than impressive in New Brunswick,
Canada.
When
we had deer here, maybe. But you wouldn't find too many guys that are your age group that could say, "Hey, we just went out one morning and we shot a deer and we had a bologna sandwich and then we went out and shot another deer."
Yeah.
I guarantee you, since the '80s, they don't
both nice bucks. Do you know what I mean though? Really, it wasn't like you went to a place that had 200,000 deer in a small acreage
and hunted for a week.
You just literally went out. You knew that the tracks were there. You knew that there was deer there, and you just said, "Okay, we've shot over here. There was one buck with 4 does. We killed that buck. Now the other one must be across the road." So you ran into the other hunter, and then you said to him, "Hey, you take this gram. We're gonna go shoot a big buck over here." But really, what you said out loud was nothing, and just waved at him. "Hey, good luck. You go down in there," and then went over there and shot another buck. That doesn't happen.
No.
Good memory.
The truth of the matter is, in the '80s, you could do that in New Brunswick. Since 1987, 1988,
and I mean,
it's lucky to shoot. It's lucky to shoot a buck.
Jay, you've shot some deer. You've shot some deer, but at this point in your hunting career, we'll call it a career. That's got to be pretty far up there.
Where's this rank?
When's the last time you ever hunted with somebody? One other guy and shot 2 deer in the same day. In New Brunswick, Canada, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And so here's a question for you from me to you. If that was a 4-point, would you passed it?
Only because you get a shit ton of meat in the freezer.
Well, I probably would have a young deer.
If you know
people.
Yeah, I probably would have.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It's a hard call.
I'm not getting in that argument in New Brunswick, Canada. Should we have antler restrictions and stuff like that?
And just experience, but
please have a seat.
Yeah.
At your age and as young as your relationship is, that's all you need.
A seat?
Just one.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool that we shot 2 deer within 100 yards of each other, and the things both weighed 155 pounds.
Hey, I couldn't even concentrate.
That's my issue right there.
It was like the turkey.
New Brunswick 10 years ago, we didn't shoot 155 deer. 155 pound deer, Scott, was the last one shot.
When you two were out and you shot the deer, and then
when you were 17 shooting boot jacks.
Maybe I better just go deer hunting today.
You know what the funny thing is? Mitch was supposed to come with me to something more.
He was.
Oh, really?
There was just.
He's never took a deer.
No, he's never ever shot a deer. It's weird.
Yeah. No hey man, if they're gonna run right at you like that, I mean, hey.
Yeah, it would have been. I'm confident we could have put.
Are we explaining to had hit one with a truck, or what are we doing?
That way. I knew that they traveled that way.
And you know what?
Biggest deer I've seen in my life in New Brunswick is on Mitch's road.
I just said to Mitch, "That's your deer."
Yeah.
I had no qualms about shooting deer that day.
You would have had a qualm about the deer that was on his driveway, pretty much.
No, man.
Really?
Good.
Really, Scott?
I'm
really? Like 6 years ago?
I am so good.
What about
lying?
Have we got
right through your fucking
Have we got time for Jason to tell his Nova Scotia story?
Oh,
we do, but no. Let's let them talk.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay. Tell your story.
Yeah, Bambino.
So yeah, we got invited to go to Nova Scotia for a hunt down there, and our good buddy Glenn.
Chris Claude.
who we all know.
And they'd put a lot of effort into hunting down there. They put out, I think they had 8 or 9 stands up.
Glenn Gillespie.
Yeah, with baits.
Good.
And they did a lot of work. They bought actually Nick bought a camp just for deer hunting down there.
Oh wow.
Anyway, which was pretty cool.
He's got that dentist money.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, he wanted to have a crew to go down there and hunt. So we said, yeah, let's go. So we decided we go down for the last week, and normally the last week of rifle season.
Call in some deer hunters. We've got a deer camp here. Let's call in some guys that like to shoot deer.
Yeah. I just like to shoot everything. Glenn had kind of been feeding us pictures right along with these nice bucks that he was on camera, and I thought, yes, sir. Great.
And he had like 6 to 8 mature bucks, man.
Like
I've normally Nova Scotia's going to have the next booner.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee it. New Brunswick's supposed to. Nova Scotia's going to have the next typical.
So we went down and didn't really have any expectations, but I knew that if I was going to take a deer, I was going to take a good deer. And wasn't going to shoot a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. I wanted to shoot something big. Anyway, so we went. Glenn had put us on a couple stands, and we sat together a little bit and kind of had some fun, and laughed, and seen a few younger bucks there. And so we had this one particular deer on this particular stand, and it was a good buck, a mature buck, like 5 or 6-year-old deer, big, heavy rack buck. Anyway, of course, whenever you seem to have a weather front coming through with a bunch of cold weather or a bunch of rain, either in the front or the back of that rain, you're going to have some deer movement because your pressure's dropping. And your pressure picks back up afterwards, right?
And that's all they get there is rain.
Is that how
fishing
works too, Jason?
Yeah. Anyway, so I pay really close attention to that fishing and hunting, the weather. And so we knew that there was that buck that showed up that night. And these cell cams, they're quite an invention now that we can basically see deer when they're there.
It's called cheating.
And it is, kind of feels like you are cheating a little bit, but it gives you a lot of information of when you should be there.
Up to date.
Yeah.
Like every morning we could see what was going on.
Yeah, and we knew what happened the night before, knew what was in the area. And normally I've always found a big mature buck, if he's there, if he's there today, he's going to be there for the next few hours, 12 to 24 hours, and he's going to move off again. You might not see him for 3
depending on what situation they're in life, right?
Yeah, and the time of year that it is, right? If
and the rut, you only see him once.
Post-rut, but this is all post-rut stuff. So.
Just a quick note about those cell cameras too. Like, we can say what they want about them. That's a whole nother almost podcast in itself.
It is. Yeah.
But one thing about them in any of the gear nowadays like that, and I'm not going to get on a rabbit trail, I just want to point this out, that we're making these animals smarter because of our technology.
Yep.
It's not by chance that we just happen to be in the woods near the time when they're there, because guaranteed there's lots of people that aren't putting the time in. They're going, okay, I've watched this deer come in every day consistently at this time. I'm going to be there 10 minutes before that. I'm going to shoot that deer and throw it on the truck. Like, we're going to make them smarter with our technology. We already have. Anyway.
Yep. No,
continue. I had to point that. I wanted to point that out because I knew it was going to come up, but I just wanted to go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a whole other podcast. It certainly is an interesting subject to discuss too.
Yep.
Because it has divided views, of course. But anyway, that's what we were using, and we knew that buck had showed up there with a doe and a fawn, and whenever we seen the doe and a fawn, he was not far to follow.
No.
So that morning, Glenn texted me and says, "Hey, is that does and fawns there?" And that the night before, Scott had fired on a buck, and he'd hit it, and he was going to go in looking for his deer.
Yeah, we tracked it the night before.
Yeah,
I made a absolutely horrible shot on a front to what Hanson had talked about before, face on shot. We tracked it for almost a kilometer.
Yeah,
down in a ravine, and here I was.
Yeah, so I dropped Scott off, and he was going down and look for it that night. So I said, well, I'll beat her right over to my stand and slip in there. So
while you were dropping me off, Glenn
texted
you and said, "Hey."
He texted me, and I said, "Hey, that doe and fawn's there." And I thought, interesting. I'm going in on covert, and says I'm gonna sneak in. So, and I could sneak in where I was going in the stand. So I never usually take my shooting sticks, but this morning I took my shooting sticks because I knew I was going to sneak it in.
He said, "I'm going to shoot one before he gets to the stand."
I did. I forgot about that, man. And I had that feeling that something's going to happen here.
You can legitimately predict it.
I snuck in, and I get in there, and I said, "Oh, gee, there's a big rear end." I said, "That's a big doe. That's a doe." Anyway, I looked, and I said, "Oh, that ain't no doe." And I could see this rack, a real heavy, coarse rack, and all of a sudden he lifted his head up. I thought, my land. I says, I cannot pass that deer. Anyway, I had to slip her out in the middle of the road where I was sneaking in. I said, if that deer turns around, it's going to see me stuck out like a sore thumb. So I was dialed right in on him anyway, but he had his rear end to me. He was basically, I had no shot. So I had to wait for him.
Shot.
Had to, yeah, it could have been.
Texas heart shot.
I didn't really want to take that shot on that bigger deer. Because
So he was on the edge of a road, and you were on the other edge.
He was
in the middle of a tote road.
Yeah.
And you were sneaking down the tote road. And you had the wind.
Yep.
Tote road.
How windy was it?
Not bad.
It was not much. There's a
low
brook
pressure.
There's a brook there, and
so that was covering your noise.
My noise going down that road
because it was snuck up on that son of a whore.
Could not.
Your heart just fucking pounding.
Yeah.
And that's the best, when you're sneaking up on them and they're just there, and you're like,
well, you didn't know until you got cleared in on the bottom of this thing.
When I crossed the brook and I looked up, I said, "Ooh,
okay,
that's a big body
all right."
deer.
So you're sneaking up on the deer.
Yeah, I snuck up on them anyway, and I'd laid
the brook's covering your sound.
It is, and I'd laid my scent was sort of blowing, sort of somewhat that way, but. I says if we get any swirl at all in that little road,
Brook's gonna take it.
So you're a full believer
it's gonna
in
smell me.
Oh God, yeah.
Anyway, and I thought, gee, I said he could bust me any minute. So I was dialed right on him, and I said, as soon as he turns just enough to almost slip one in him. Anyway, sure enough, he stepped. You know how sometimes you'll watch them and they'll step their rear end over.
And turn.
Well, he stepped his rear end over about 2 steps, and I thought, ooh, that's all we need. So I picked a spot sort of on his back, in between his.
Quartered away from you?
He quartered away real
hard.
That's crazy in hell.
And I picked a spot and sort of mid gut type thing and picked this. I'm gonna go up through him right there. I said, I think I can
nail him. I'm just gonna send that right behind the
and
ribs, right up through and blow the front right out of him.
I pulled low and squeezed the trigger, and he mule kicked like a son of a gun right out the back, just to both legs to kick, and pinned his tail or pinned his ears back, head down, and tail wag, and away he went. I thought, that's a dead deer.
Took it.
Yeah,
took it.
And away he went. And I said, I'm going to go
took
check.
It like a man.
So I would have shot right in the asshole and called it good.
I went over and checked where I'd shot, and there was hair. And then there was, I could see where he dug and went, but there's no blood. And I thought, well, he's probably not going to bleed at that. I said, if I get an exit, I'd be awful surprised.
Fair enough.
What calorie shoot?
Fair enough. Fair enough
if
you hit him back, too, right? Started back.
180 game?
Yeah.
Nausea?
No, Hornadies. Hornady, what the heck are they called?
Something from World War II, Benson. Wouldn't fucking matter. The guy kills deer. He fucking kills deer.
Anyway, so I said, I'm going to go get it. So I said, at that point, I texted Scott. I said, I just freaking dropped the hammer on him. I says, or I texted all you guys, and I said, I'd send a picture. And so I said, I'm coming to get you, Scott. So by that time, I beat her back.
I hadn't dropped in yet.
No.
To where I was.
In the friggin' bugger, I got back where he was, and he walked that stinking, I don't know, what was that? It's like 3-4 kilometers?
At least.
And
I was
you were
sitting on the end of the road.
I was like, holy crap, how'd you get there that fast?
Yeah. Wait.
His legs are quite long.
Going downhill.
You should see him run.
Yeah. Anyway, we went back, and we walked into that deer.
You come in off
and it was deader than a doornail. I'm
it was
right now,
deader than shit. Yeah.
It was probably one of the most impressive deer I've ever walked up on.
Oh, man.
He was a big body.
I am so happy to be part of that.
That video you sent where you could see him, you walking up to it, you could see the rack from a long
When was that? What was the date on that?
Shrink, it's a real good feeling.
2 weeks ago.
There was no ground chickens in that guy.
No.
Usually, and be honest, you shot more deer than any person I know.
He died right on a tote road.
Yeah,
so
unbelievable.
So he's maybe 60 yards from where I shot.
Probably.
Yeah.
So rack wise, is that one of your bigger rack deer?
Yeah.
You think?
So I'd
top
say
2.
That would be my top 2.
I was gonna
What's
say.
he gonna score? 160 inches. I know I'm talking about.
He's real coarse. Like he's a real coarse, heavy rack. Not terribly long tines, but he's really coarse. It
big,
11,
good
actually,
mass. Yeah.
Is it 8 or 10?
It was 11, 10. So he's a 10 with a little bit of junk.
Oh, I lost.
But
give it to
he's a nice deer.
How old do you figure that was?
He's at least 5, if not 6.
Yeah.
He's 5 plus.
Where I think you know shot
he's missing teeth.
Yeah.
He's. He wasn't in bad health. I wouldn't say.
But
really,
he's
missing teeth.
Yep.
Yes, sir. So he's definitely
Shot him in the corner, didn't
Geez, that would be odd, wouldn't it? Them to lose teeth like that.
His front teeth were
4.5
missing,
years
and his back teeth were wore way down.
I couldn't get over the color of him.
So he was quite old then, because it wouldn't be common for them to lose teeth.
He was 6.5.
Nope.
Wow.
In New Brunswick.
We figured.
How heavy is he?
He was probably only 200 pounds.
No, but how heavy is his horns? Like, what's his circumference?
I would say on his bases, 5.5, 6 inches.
He was every bit of that.
Yeah.
6 2/8.
Not quite. He's like a Bud Light can or a
he was a
Red Bull can.
Cold shot can.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was that there at least, if not more.
That's a big deer here.
Yeah, he was heavy.
Big.
So that's a hell of a deer season for you guys.
Yeah.
That's
so
you guys are the only ones that kill a deer every year that I know.
We've done this. Okay, he's
Seriously.
come pick me up. He's completed his hunt. I'm not done mine yet. Right? And I don't know if we've got time for this, but
we got about 15 minutes before the memory card runs out.
We finish Jason's deer up. We pull it out. You know, unbelievable experience. I'm glad I was part of it. I'll never forget it. Walking down there, he kind of tells me, hang back, hang wide. You know, we see the deer, we drag it out. You know, I take the largest carrot I can find in the bait, and you know, I hold it up for Glenn, like, and yeah, and so we get back to camp. We put a meat pole up, first meat pole at the camp. We hang this deer, and then I've still got a deer that's wounded. So we go back to where I was 4 hours ago, and Jason and I decide we'll drop down in. We're gonna look for a body. We've tracked blood to here. We're going to look for a body. Whatever. We drop down in. Jason goes a little bit left. I stay to the right. He's got no gun because he's tagged out. So we've dropped down in this ravine. It's 100 meters deep. He's off looking at a waterfall. I've got a little grunt tube in my mouth. A little mouth call. I start walking up on a pinnacle. It's got, I don't know, 5 foot, 6 foot fir trees on
just
it.
typical what you'd see for
for whatever reason, I just, hey, if I was going to be a deer, this is where I would be. I walk up on it. I know he's behind me. We got a brook in between us. Walk up on it. Buck jumps up. I was like, holy shit. You know, we're within 100 yards of where we left this deer. Buck jumps up. I yell. I'm like, jumped one. Got one up. Don't hear anything. Which isn't, you know. Yeah, he was next to that waterfall fucking behind. You know, he was just doing his thing.
You sure he wasn't taking a shit?
Could have been. I don't know. Could have been. You know, whatever the circumstances are. I'll put it this way. I even pushed him. Why aren't you taking a gun? It wasn't legal. I don't disagree. It wasn't. Off we go. So I watch this deer step up in front of me. I look at it. Not 100% sure that this is a deer I've shot. It goes. You know, you got 2 seconds there. It's gone. I yell. I don't hear anything back. I expect this deer to go away from me. Goes to the left of me. Goes down in. I hear it cross in the brook. Instantly, I'm like, okay, game on. Guns up. I'm on it. I'm watching it. I see it. I instantly know this is deer I've shot. I see its flag up from the night before. It goes. I'm kind of... There was a point where I come off the gun and I looked because I didn't know if Jason was like down below me, if my gun was sitting on top of his head. I felt like he was behind me. I didn't know. And there was a point where I went, he's not there. He's not there. He's not there. I know there's a sheer wall there. And I tripped it.
Where 90% of people would already be pulling the trigger as soon as they seen it, right? Not looking at their surroundings to figure out what's around them, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's right.
So I double down. I'm on this deer. I let it go. Deer disappears. We're in a hardwood bottom, basically. I don't see the deer. I think I've dropped it. And I'm looking. You know, shit's happening. And I hear Jason go, hit it again. And I went, oh shit.
It was standing in front of me.
Yeah.
I had a full clear shot.
So he's behind me where I think he is. He's down on the bottom. He's down on the flat. The deer's like 30 yards away from him. No gun, because he's tagged out. And I've just dumped a bullet at this deer, and I hear hit it again, and I instantly go, where is it? Because I can't see it anymore. And it turns because it sees him, goes back the other way. We could have run this thing off the waterfall like a buffalo. Goes back the other way. I rip. Yeah. He says, I said, where is it? He says, it's going back. And I looked and I see it. Shells in. I'm up. Honest to God, boys, I was on this deer twice. Okay. Fire at it. I'm down off this pinnacle. I'm running across the brook in stride. I'm up where I see it go. And I get up to the top of the knoll and I'm looking, and I turn around to see where Jason is, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know where the fuck he was. Okay. No. Well, he knew where I was.
No, he didn't know he was.
And I basically knew where he was. And I turn around and he's right on my ass. Okay. He's on me and we're going. Okay. We're on this deer. And there's a quick conversation there. Did I hit it? You know, mouth wide open, typical Wilson stare. Yeah, breathing heavy, just like two rip.
Heavy mouth breathing.
Yeah, I'm in it. Okay,
things are happening.
Things are happening. You know, Jay's behind me.
Shots fired.
Yeah, shit's going down. Okay. And we're going to hang 2 deer at this camp. We're going to bring 2 deer home. Here I am. Again. Yeah, here I am again. On we go. There's a quick conversation that happens. I've got 2 bullets in the gun, and we're going. And when I say we're going,
there's East Coast right there, bullets.
It's a semi-sprint, okay? It's as fast as you can picture yourself moving through the woods. For 5.2 kilometers.
Come again?
Based on tracks. So I never hit this deer in the 2 shots I let fly. For whatever reason. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. She's mad at me. My gun is mad because I let some other person touch it.
What's her name?
The stick. Okay? Because when the stick comes out, shit hits the ground.
Shit dies.
Yeah.
Like some people call it the beat stick. You
And
just call it straight stick.
Stick.
I like it.
So off we go, and we're running. Okay, this is 2:30 in the afternoon. At 5:15, we hit the Blue Sack Road. Okay.
What?
Blue Sack Road.
Are you serious?
Blue Sack Road. I got 2 guns in my
Hey,
bowl.
balls on that sign?
You're a guide, you know it. The Blue Sack Road.
Yeah. We're in her. Like we're in her.
That's 3 months deep in the woods.
We ran for 2 hours. We followed tracks. Most of it him, because anytime that he breathed, I was a bag of shit. Stuff was at my shoulder, and I was looking at him because he's got eagle eyes. Okay, I'm up, and I'm like, "What'd you say?" And I'm looking at him, and he's like, "I fucking coughed," and I was like, "Okay." And I put the.
You cough?
Jason's shooting deer through 18-inch holes.
Yeah.
On a dead run.
Yeah, I heard
got
noises.
eyes.
I'm going. Okay. I'm going.
He
He grunted. He just went like that, and I was like, I'm stopped up short, safety's off, fucking guns on, and I'm looking for deer. And then I'm looking at him going, what? And he's like,
You see one?
yeah. And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, man, you got to go ahead of me because you're stressing me out. I'm at like DEFCON fucking 10 here. Like, so we went on a level that I can't really tell you. We went through hardwoods. The hardwoods were great. When he was running, it was great. we could see his tracks because he was putting down specific tracks. Okay,
yeah, I could follow that track. We hit other deer tracks. I could pick that track at other deer tracks.
Oh yeah.
The way he was splayed out and the way he was going on 3 legs, he was making a distinctly different.
So you had
track.
dragon foot.
Oh yeah. Well, he didn't have a dragon foot. He was punching hard.
He was going
out.
You can just tell. That's tracking on tracks.
Yeah, like we tracked on the leaves and
that's
just
the difference between
following
whitetail hunter and
trails.
goose hunter.
Yeah. 5.5 kilometers, no snow.
Yeah,
No
so
snow.
No snow.
I'd have gave up at like 2 kilometers. I'd have been done because
It's just how
there was points where I was ahead of him. I could see the tracks, and I'm going.
You know
I'm
what?
going.
He's
I'm running.
Only 100 yards ahead of you the whole
I'm
time.
going, and I'm
Fuck
thinking
all he is.
I'm
They
gonna
always
see him.
are.
I'm gonna see him the next
30 hours
the
later,
next
I saw
turn,
one.
the next the next step. I'm gonna see this deer. I'm gonna put a bullet in him, and we're gonna be in a mess. But we're gonna have this deer, just like we've done. How many other times? Several. Okay. And I'm running, and we're going, and then all of a sudden we hit the fucking main road. Okay, we're at the main road, and I was like,
How the hell
You guys must have been good and lathered by then.
whoa. And you know, we're both good. We're looking at each other and laughing.
How the fuck did we get here? Where the fuck are we?
Oh, we're not lost.
Yeah, and we cross the main road, and we get across the brook. So we've gone through 2 ravines. Okay,
Jeez, I don't
2
know.
ravines, and when I say ravines, I'm talking 100-meter drops.
Like a
Yeah,
bowl.
but
Like
so
you're
here-
talking about a bowl
100
of
meter crosses the brook, and he's rolling.
Here's my question:
I did quit.
when you cross a road like that, and we know how wide they are once you get out and walk across one.
Should've had
How
somebody
did you
should've had somebody
find?
standing there posting.
How did you find the track again? If there was no snow, you tracked it up to then. You were on it, and then you looked at the road where it's not going to leave any tracks, and you go, okay, well, surely it would be in. I don't know this sector. Like fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't track things. They come to me.
He did mess us up there because when he come across the road, there was one punch on the edge of the shoulder of the road.
Oh, and
then he went down the ditch, and he went down the ditch. There's a brook in the ditch.
Yeah.
When he crossed that brook, he hit
He
another
jumped
bank.
that brook.
He jumped that brook, and he jumped at an angle.
And you could
And
distinctly
I could
see from
where
a distance
and
that he
no,
hit that.
At that point in time, it was very, very mossy there.
Yeah.
So you were
and
back.
that was real hard to pick up.
And that was real hard.
Yeah.
But
we picked it back up. And
You
we-
get into that. You get into that
So we
slow
had
down.
gone through a ravine, across the tote road, down through a shithole, hit another. If he'd have just walked, we'd have lost him.
Yeah, but think about that.
At
You're
that
right,
point, though, he wasn't
absolutely,
walking
with
every
no
time
snow.
100 yards.
But think about that
I just
animal,
had this
and
happen
think
to me.
about
30 hours later, I shot 3 dozen
think
bucks.
about the reason why they stop when they run. Like they run a little ways and then they stop and turn
They're
around.
looking back at
Because I would
Every time.
I would bet that they've got figured out in their head that if we run this far, this hard, that we're gonna outrun all the game in the woods. And if we stop
That's
and
their
turn
predator,
around,
right?
most coyotes are still gonna be running because we can run 3 times as fast as them on good ground.
Yeah.
So that deer fucking knew that you were on its ass.
Oh yeah.
Longer than most maybe critters would be. So imagine what that fucking deer thought. He's probably like, wait a minute now. Normally I get a chance to stop and take a breather, but these 2 motherfuckers are really trying to kill me today. You know what I mean? So think about that, right? I don't know.
These 2 wolves have fucking poached me down into this ravine.
I'll just cross this road and everything will be okay. Oh, no, it's not. No.
They've walked me down in. We went a kilometer. Night one.
If you'd have left that deer, you'd never found it.
Night one, we went a kilometer down into this ravine, and Jason's like, I don't know. And I was like, man, I'm done. Like, I'm done back here. Like, I don't know what's going on. We were getting good blood. There was a point where I was like,
How many
holy
times did you
shit,
lay
we're
down,
going to
Scott?
find this deer.
How many times did they lay down?
Like, didn't.
None.
Ever.
Well,
Period.
how could it
Here's-
fucking
this
lay
is a-
down?
this
They
is
were
a legit
chasing it.
whitetail guide or hunter's question. Do you walk away from that deer, or do you keep on rolling?
Well, see, we thought
Well, it worked out. You kept rolling, right?
we had one of 2 options we could have did. When we first jumped that deer, he fired at it. We could have just sat down, 45 minutes, an hour, sat down, had a little break, picked up the track, followed that track, hoped that deer laid down someplace that we could have. some place that we could have cornered that deer, like if even Scott went out around it and circled out around, went 100 yards off my left or right or whatever, and I stayed on the track, and he just sort of watched me and looked ahead. We could have did that, or we thought the woods that was there, we knew there were some open spots in the woods and some ravines and stuff, and I thought, if we can catch this deer going down a ravine and climb the other side, when we happen to get there, we can see 150 yards. I said, chances are we should be able to see that deer.
Always chase it, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm asking a serious question. You guys are better deer hunters than others.
So my opinion compared to Jason was when, so I got 2 shots of this deer. I got 2. I racked 2 shots at this deer. Fairly open woods. Okay. This deer was hurting. Okay. He laid on this pinnacle. I'd basically drop down in on him within 50 yards. When he got up,
did you see him get up, Scott?
Oh yeah, I was within.
At that point, was he running or just stand up?
30 feet, but I didn't know if he was deer or shot.
So you didn't want to pull the trigger right then anyway because you're not certain.
I didn't know. I don't know if I could have.
Oh.
But regardless, my instinct wasn't to shoulder the gun and shoot that deer. My instinct was that I was looking for a dead deer.
Okay, because you've never had one actually go that way.
He ran down off that hill, and when he splashed through the brook, I went, game on. Okay? I see the deer across the brook. I see his leg up where I had told you I'd shot this deer.
So you knew he was a 3-legged deer way back.
Way back.
You knew he was hit. If you could tell.
I knew it was a frontal shot. I told the boys, I said, it's a frontal shot. My expectation on a frontal shot is the son of a bitch drops right there. Okay? He's in a pile right there. He took the bullet. He jumped. I seen him going with his leg up, and I went, I've done it.
When did you guys decide to call off the track?
When we hit houses. We
This
ran this deer to the coast.
Yeah, it crossed the main road and run across someone's lawn.
The second main road.
Jeez. Should have run them into the ocean off the cliffs like they did the bison.
This is why I agree. This is a whitetail question. Everybody says leave your deer and shoot it, right? I don't agree with that statement. If I get a second chance to put a bullet.
Well, it was the right decision at the time because we didn't have anything to go on.
My opinion, you always chase your deer.
So the next morning when I dropped in, for whatever reason, when that happened, and we were done that night, when we had concluded a 5.2 kilometer track on sheer punches in the leaves,
32 more left.
and you didn't have a gun, I went, okay, this isn't meant to be. I don't know what the reason this is, but it's not. This deer's good. He went up that bank when he crossed the main road. He went up that bank in 2 strides.
He was 5 strides and it's probably, 30, 40 yards up. And like, I'm talking like when I went up it, I was on my hands and knees going up it, grabbing stuff, digging my toes in.
Isn't that something, eh? And he just went up that.
So when he got up that bank from crossing the road, he went up Blue Sack Mountain on this tote road. And the tote road was covered in 2-foot fir trees. And the son of a bitch went up the side of the tote road so he could put his hurt leg. He could put that leg down and he could go up the side of the hill. That's how fast he was moving. He never stopped running, did he?
No.
Very rarely. He stopped maybe once and checked a scrape. And you heard him. When I split off from you and I said, we got to make a move now.
Would he have stopped and checked a scrape?
He did. He stopped.
No fucking way. Oh, let me stop and check to see if there's been any pussy here. I've only got 3 legs.
He took us through his storybook, man.
Yeah, it was incredible.
What? Like
he took us through the best piece of woods that he could have took us through until he crossed that road, and I don't feel like he knew where he was.
He didn't.
I tell you right now, this
really?
Yeah.
30 hours.
When we got him across the road, he went through an absolute shithole. I mean, it was a shithole. We got up that mountain, and when we got on top, we crossed the tote road. And once we crossed that tote road, he put us through absolute hell. To the point that I was like, and Jason started circling, And I kept going with the gun, like Elmer Fudd. And I was walking ahead.
Do you think he was trying to lose you through that tough stuff?
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew by that time he was being followed.
Yeah,
He was
there
in
were
it.
spots that he went in, and I've tracked deer a lot of times, and 9 times out of 10 they'll usually go in the thicket and they'll stand in that thicket and look back at you. Or they'll go behind blowdown, look at you, and they'll circle off one side or the other, and they'll stand there and look back.
He was gone.
Yeah,
Trying to
to
hide.
see you. Yeah.
And hide.
Just waiting to see what's following me. That's what they're looking for. As soon as they get a little bit of visual confirmation that they know it's tracking them, then they bugger off. They'll go again. Anyway.
And you, as close as we got in the 5 kilometers, you heard him.
I heard him breaking branches in a blowdown.
Yeah, he got mixed in a bunch of blowdowns where the hurricane had pushed a bunch of shit down. Him and I, he looked at me and he said, "You got to split. You got to go down this road, cut across. He's gonna go this way." Anyway, I got in an absolute mess. It was a fucking mess. I mean, I wasn't far off you.
No, he wasn't.
But I got in an absolute mess of stuff. And we come out on the road. I got a picture of it because it was kind of comical. We both walked out on the road and he had gone down between these 2 houses through a field, and he was just...
He kept going. He won the battle.
Yeah.
You can't walk through a fucking neighborhood with a gun.
No, you can't. And so there we were. So we had gone 2.5 hours. And I'm not kidding you. This was a sprint / as quick a... Listen, it's as fast as anybody in this room is going to do 5.2 kilometers. I don't give a shit if it's on the road, in the woods. I don't give a shit where it is. It's as fast as you can move anywhere for any one of us. We put him to the test, and we come out, and it was 15 kilometers total.
But
you went 15 kilometers hunting deer.
But when you think about that, think about how that animal took off from you, and he so many times there he probably would have been free. He'd have been fine. And most people would have been like, "Oh, we didn't hit that deer."
Would have given up the night before.
Yeah, they would have. They would have been like, "Oh, I can't. There's no tracks. I mean, how are we supposed to track it? Like, there's fucking deer tracks here everywhere. There's no blood. Like, but see now, that's like the guys in Africa that when you shoot into a herd of Cape buffalo and there's no blood, that they're like, that's your animal's track right there amongst all these other tracks. That's the one, and you're like, how do you know? Well, you can tell he's digging different. See all these other ones? This one here's digging like this, and he's taking off that way. We're gonna find him over there. Just watch, and they do.
Yeah,
no blood,
and that's what he did.
Right,
that's
Jason's a tracker. Yeah. Right, I've look. Remember the bear I shot over here?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
That was fun.
Shot him. I'm like Jason. I can promise you that I smoked it. Like, I got him good. I don't see any. I've been feeling things. Nothing. Everything's water. I don't know. Come check this out. So Jason comes over and we look. It's dark. We'll come back in the morning. And he was right there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You found a lot. Jason's like, oh.
There he is. What?
There's blood, right and you go.
Scott's picked up leaves.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's blood.
Yeah, but if you're not a tracker, there's probably a fair amount of those deer that get left behind. Absolutely. But if you know, okay, I can tell that definitely these tracks are deeper or just fairly different, and they're consistently different than these tracks over here. That's our deer. Let's follow that for a while. Yeah, I don't know. You got to be. You have to be. That's hunting. That's hunting right there. I mean, that's going out and shooting a deer and going, okay, this is his track. Not just going, fucking must have missed him. No sense even trying to go in the woods.
So I was there. I was there. I was like, oh my god.
30 hours.
I feel like I hit this deer, but I don't know what I've done. And Jason comes, and I've already done my shit that I do to find a deer. I've done my 100-yard loop. I've done my 200-yard loop. I've done my 300-yard loop, and I'm like,
7 kilometers deep.
Okay, I've messed up. And so Jason comes, and we followed a couple of running tracks, and he's like, I don't see anything. And I was like, I don't know what just happened. Okay. I really don't. This deer should be in a pile, on a pile of carrots, and all of a sudden he finds blood. And I'm like, okay, let's go.
So this is 3 days in that you find blood?
No, this is
first night.
The first night. Okay. Yeah.
First night we find blood. I mean, I can show you the hunt stand track. It's a very easy trail that Jason follows. You know, I'm behind him.
How big is the spot blood van?
No, it was good blood, wasn't
okay.
it?
Yeah, it was good.
You know, it was decent.
30, 40 yards away?
No, it was like, so it was 80 yards.
That's at
from
least
the shot.
a good
270?
reinforcement, like, you know what I mean?
So
You find it.
So, tracking him that far, did you guys actually see blood? I know you're tracking the tracks, but was he still bleeding?
So that second day, near as we can tell, there's about 3 spots. I picked up like several drops of blood. Like I'm talking like maybe 5, 6 drops of blood. Where it looked like to me, he had reopened that wound a little bit,
yeah,
a little bit,
stretching himself out,
yeah,
jumping or something.
yeah. And
but
beyond that, that deer was going very well.
He'll be around next
No doubt
year.
in my mind.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Deer won't die.
He's good. So what I did was,
I had to shoot
that was a full frontal shot.
brisket.
I looked at it. He was alert. I had a certain little bit of fight in me for this deer because he showed up the day before, like 15 minutes after I left stand. So I was mad at it. He came in. He was alert. He wasn't. He didn't know I was there. He didn't have a fucking clue I was there. No. He was just doing his thing. I can show you pictures from day 4 when he did the same thing.
Deer know you're in the St. Louis.
You know,
they don't come in.
it was a complete misstep on my part. 20 years of hunting. I just did.
It happens.
I just did the first wound of a rifle
in your life.
of my life. Yeah.
So
we tracked this deer, and there was no point in time when I doubted what we were tracking because it was obvious to me too. And if it's obvious to me, it's, you know, twice as obvious to him. It was a very distinct pattern that we were following through the leaves, to the point that when I could see it through the hardwoods, I was fucking running. And there was 2 or 3 times that we came to where I slowed up, and I was like, and I was looking at him, and I was like, he's here. He's looking at us. If he's not looking at us, he's gone.
He's always 100 years in front of you.
And we went down over a bank, and here we are at the main road. We go up over the main road. We just went through absolutely unhuntable country. Split because we were like, okay, we got to give it another 30 minutes and we're out of light. And pushed him, you know, I split, tried to go around, cut him off, and met Jason on the main road. And it's like, holy shit. Okay, how do we get back to the truck? It's like, okay, unload the gun, stash the gun in the woods, and we're going to walk. And we walked 10 kilometers on the main road. Nobody picked us up because
nobody seen you.
God forbid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You
we
actually seen
no,
humans drive by you?
oh,
Yeah.
several, yeah.
Well, I just stood in the middle.
And then here we are. We get back to the truck. Meet another lad. Talk to him, and go back. Drive clear back around. Pick my rifle up, and off we go.
Sounds like a hell of a deer season.
It was quite a hunt. Like,
Yeah, it was.
We had 2 quite memorable hunts. I won't forget from last year we had a heck of a hunt too in Indiana, and I feel
I
like
pushed
this
2
year we
deer
trumped
to
it.
you now. We've literally done the bump and dump twice.
Man, so tell me
You
this.
guys French?
Three times. 3 times.
So tell me this. The guy that hasn't shot a deer in 10 years brings meat. The guy that's got a moose and 2 deer in his freezer brings nothing. Come on.
You want some meat? I'll get you some meat.
No, I'm good.
Actually, we gave that deer away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we stopped and gave that deer to a fellow that's got 3 kids, and
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
he was like super pumped to have that deer.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, we warned him. This is an older deer. I says he's not in great shape. SEC's probably not
That'd
going to
make difference.
Hang him long.
Yeah, but most
my opinion on that
most
is
people
not
with
the same
families like that are just, if they ground that deer
Yeah,
up,
absolutely.
hamburger, you can make so many meals with that. Like
I remember
we
the
make
time when
we
you
make a
didn't
lot
eat
of our
deer meat.
meals out of ground meat, unless it's like
Scott never liked deer meat for
you
the
know,
longest time.
chicken
I
or
liked
turkey
it.
or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
what
that.
else did.
But you know, for somebody like that to have a
You
deer,
see something
especially
eat, though.
nowadays, when you go to like Sobeys.
Like
And I mean, a lot of people for Christmas right now, I spend a lot of time there with service dogs lately. I mean, turkeys are $75. $75. I'm like, there's 30 of them across the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
People are gonna start shooting those,
Oh yeah.
and who's gonna stand in their way? You couldn't blame them.
It's about time to feed yourself.
So good on you. We should be doing more of that here, and it's a shame. It's a shame that in this province we don't have some sort of hunters for the hungry or something to support the
We do
food
now.
bank.
We get
So I
to the
remember
bush.
back about 7 or 8 years
That's
ago
different.
that it was the H Hunters HDMD. What was the abbreviation for it?
I don't remember, Jed.
So
It was
Hunters-
hunters
Hunters
and
feed
farmers feeding the hungry.
yeah,
It's hunters
and
feed the
there
hungry.
was a bunch of butcher shops that you could drop it off, and
Yeah.
then the butcher shops would look after butchering the cost,
Government wouldn't cover it.
and then it would to be sent off to the soup kitchens is where it was going.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that, the butcher shop down the street from my parents' place, they were one of the drop-off zones.
That wasn't that long ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
No,
They
it was back when I had the shop, boys. It was
3
back
years ago was
Yeah,
when
that
COVID
was
started.
7, probably. I'm gonna say
I couldn't. I
7
tried
years
to drop
ago.
it down.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that is
one of them,
the
they said
sportsman
no.
show in Sussex. I
And
won
paid for it full.
I
So
won
it's
one
a
of their
government
prints.
did pay, right?
Yep.
You could,
Won
no,
one of their
sorry,
prints
you could
for them.
drop it off.
It was probably 7 or 8
Government
years ago
would
now.
cover you.
That
I'm not paying
we're
attention.
definitely
Okay.
we're definitely
Whatever.
lacking.
Gentlemen, we've been going for 4 hours and 16
Holy
minutes.
frig, boys.
It's time to wrap her up
Yeah.
because we're gonna run out of memory card here real soon.
We got
So just
15,
I want everyone to remember, there's no deer in Kings County.
Yeah.
They're all in Charlotte County or up here.
They're in
No
Moncton.
deer up here. That's what we moved.
No
that's
deer
where
up
we
here.
traveled to go.
Yeah, they're in Moncton.
So stay the fuck out of here.
They're in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
a good
getting
a
good
good
setup
message
for
would
32
be to
hours.
end this that it's about the hunt. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know, as far as success went on this hunting season for me, if you want to total it up in antlers, it was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
But as far as hunting went,
Fun
it was
memories,
one of
time
the
spent
best
with good
hunting
friends.
seasons
Yeah.
that I've ever had
Time aplenty spent in the field,
in the field.
whether in the actual field or in the woods, soothes a man's soul. It's the
Yeah.
way that it's supposed to be, and when
The
you're
most
able
fun-
to make memories like
Yeah.
that,
Most
boys.
fun I've ever had in my life is with this crew right here, eating fucking steak off a wood stove.
Yep.
So I mean, I could have shot another buck the next day after that had all happened, and I just walked away.
Yeah.
And we did another bump and dump that same day. That was textbook. If there'd have been a buck behind it, we'd have been successful, and it never happened.
You already were successful.
A doe come out. A doe come out. It went back in. Looked at him. Come back out to me. You know, it was just. It was all there. We plotted a plan. Everything worked out except that there was a 180-inch deer behind it. But seeing the doe and knowing that happened,
You got her.
that was it.
Yeah, it would have happened.
Great podcast, boys.
I
Boys,
think it's not killing it.
it has been great.
Hell of a talk.
It's
Great
been
to
long
get together.
overdue. This might have to be like a 3 or 4 part podcast. This is like a Jocko Willink podcast.
No, it's all good, man. Once you get
Yeah.
into something like this, it can't be 2-3 parts. It's got to be one.
Gotta be. Should get out of this.
Ben.
I'm gonna have to drive to Woodstock and back just to listen to it.
Fucking right, hey? Every time I get on a long
Back
drive,
to
I'm like,
me.
fuck, I'll turn on a 4-hour podcast
Yeah.
with Jocko Willink. I fucking love
Yeah.
I
those.
listen to Theo Vaughn every hour and 32 minutes.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
Thanks
podcast.
for just
boys.
showing up.
Thanks for coming out, boys. It's been
Ben, thanks
long
for
overdue.
coming, man.
Ben.
Always enjoy your company.
Thanks for bringing the
Now
extra
Ben realizes
microphones because ours aren't
I
here
found a
yet.
new friend.
She's been a good time.
Hell yeah.